has college debt, we're not.
We have to stop this
It's
game.
canon that the Lyceum is like rich bitch school, so
Yeah, but the rich bitches aren't in debt.
Yeah, because if you're rich,
No,
you
the
can
rich
just
bitches
pay
have
it.
parents. The rich bitches have parents who will pay it all up front for them.
Yeah, like
oh god.
I did enjoy the very like loud like the general group reaction to $61,000.
Look,
yeah.
that's a hot bit of money. That ain't a nice small bit of money.
Okay, so
What's that one John Mulaney bit? Like, it's almost like I paid my college $60,000.
No, it was 120,000.
20,000. Yeah.
It was 120,000, which is ridiculous.
That's
Hey, America, what the fuck?
That's
Seconded.
a question I ask every fucking day, but it doesn't get answered, and there's no point asking.
Yeah.
I think the answer is pretty much because capitalism.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
also true.
God, ain't that the answer to everything?
God, I talked to my mom about it, and she was like,
I'm pretty sure because capitalism is not the reason my neck hurts.
Oh,
no, it
you're
is
wrong.
capitalism.
Everything
Everything wrong is capitalism's fault.
My mom, I was talking to my mom about college, and she was like, yeah, the reason it costs so much is because, like, you have to pay for other people's programs. And I'm like, you have to do the what? It's like the medical program costs more than how much you pay per year. So that's why English majors have to pay so much. And I'm like, all right. I trust you because you
Yeah,
have a
because
PhD.
if they actually funded it the way they're supposed to, you wouldn't have that problem. But
Well-
no, America objects to taxes.
Yeah,
Would you like a fun fact about my university?
I would love a fun fact.
Go for it.
They have something called the Richmond Guarantee, which basically says that if you want to do an internship or like study abroad, you can apply for like up to like what, $4,000 in aid?
Yeah, you said it was about $4,000.
$4,000 in aid, which theoretically means they have $4,000 sitting around for at least a fourth of the school, just fucking sitting around.
Yeah,
Yep.
we've got that for we've got the Alma Venture, and that's $2,500, so that's not as much, but you know, we've got a lot of stuff like that.
Like, you're just. I'm like, why? Just knock that $4,000 off our fucking tuition.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, but if the money's sat there, it's sat in their bank and it's accruing interest.
oh, yeah.
There's just a lot of money all the time, and we are all poor and gay.
Yeah.
See, this is the fun thing in the UK. All your loans kind of come from the government, but they go through something called the Student Loans Company. And basically, you don't pay your loans back to student loans. You pay your loans to the government via the taxman, who then sits on it for 12 months. They accrue interest, so do you, and then they pay it back to student loans. So they're essentially making money off your loan repayments while you're getting further in debt.
Oh,
there's not a system like that with Hex. With Hex, what that is they cover your costs, and then they until you're earning, I think it's over like 70,000 a year. They don't charge you anything, but as soon as you are, it starts coming out of.
I think it's 18 a year. It's over minimum wage that you've got to be earning before you pay it back.
You know what happens
here? You've actually got to be earning a fairly substantial amount before they start taking it out.
I know. I think it's like 18, 20. Oh, they've put it up. It might be 20 before you start paying it back.
You know what happens here?
You die of debt.
You get it right from the start.
You borrow money from either the government or various private loan companies. Either way, your debt is likely to get sold to some fucking loan shark company.
Yep.
That's gonna, like, from the moment you I think it's you have a small grace period. Then after that, it's fuck you.
God, literally half of the reason I want to be famous is that I can look at college student GoFundMe's and just like, what if I just like did 1,000% on this? That's the only reason I want money.
But no, this is the thing, because the people that buy the debt, say you've got £10,000 worth of debt, they'll literally buy it for like $200 or $300. So they're not even kind of. I mean, this is the thing. If I won millions, I would literally take people's debt, buy them off, and just kind of be like, right, no, okay, your debt's written off.
Yeah,
It's numbers on a page to these people. So
I'd
off you
love to
trot.
do that. It's the dream. I just want to help people. I just want to be nice. I just want to be nice all the time. Why do people want to be nice?
I want to stop talking about the mountains of debt I'm going to be in as an artist and historian and play some D&D.
Yeah, let's do the D&D.
Let's do Slay.
As soon as my Roll20 loads, I will be in the Roll20. Oh god, but apparently it's decided that it doesn't need to fucking work. Because this is apparently a thing today.
One of my friends just sent me a message that reads men, but it's like with each letter spaced out. So like,
so what's the bet? Breakup?
I don't know, but whatever it is, it's a fucking mood.
I'm excited to hear about it.
All the time, I'm like, I want a boyfriend, and then I remember the boyfriends I've had, and I'm like, maybe not.
Okie doke, Joe has made it into Roll20. Okay, so last week...
You need me to rejoin as a player, don't you?
Please. So last week we finished off. You had spoken to Mira, who was kind of rude, but also very stressed. And she had basically said that shit was going down in the area, and there were various people lost in and around the temple that they couldn't retrieve because of some sort of magical effect that was basically driving people to insanity. Mercy had previously swooped down to get a close look at what they thought were a heat haze, but actually turned out to be something that attacked Mercy with lightning, killing Mercy temporarily. Mira mentioned the name Gillen, who was the person that you needed to speak to, and you later met him. He was an elf who seems to be kind of in charge of this research project. Nominally, he has asked you to go in and map the temple. And kind of he will pay you to kind of go in there and risk your necks to map the temple, to bring back various artifacts and things. Susanna, I believe, was the only one who passed the insight check to show that he... Oh, and Sarah and Vera did as well.
And I also did, but by the time I was letting you know, you'd already moved to Whispers, because I also matched Vera.
So basically then Diona, Vera and Susanna discovered that he was a shady bastard.
Oh, really?
Wow,
I don't
never
actually
met
have
one
context,
of those.
but I matched Vera. I matched Vera on the inside. It's just that you didn't notice, and so
there were so many things going off. Sorry about that. So yeah, I think Susanna kind of got a bit more information than that, which is why she was kind of haggling quite so sharply.
With a natural fucking 20.
A natural 20.
I mean, honestly, Susanna's welcome to take the fucking play bullshit with that guy.
That's what she wants to do. And if anybody tries to stop her, she'll have words about it.
Right now, she's on our side. So right now, the bullshit she's pulling is to our benefit. So...
Yeah.
Vias missed most of this going down. Bearing in mind he was busy kind of bringing Mercy back. And we finished with you kind of sat in the camp at... Did I write down what time it was?
Oh, you better have.
Early afternoon. You're kind of sat in the camp. It's early afternoon, say about 2-3 p.m.-ish, somewhere around there. With the instruction to kind of go forth and do what you can, in the hopes that you will return with enough information and time to be paid.
Right.
And again, Lena's going to be reasonably quiet because it's very hard to kind of GM and run a character.
So, now that the gentleman has left us entirely, what are we thinking is the plan going forward?
Do we need a plan? Can't we just go in and be like?
No, Dylan.
You make me sad. You make me sad. I want to do fun things. Yes.
I have a vested interest in not dying today or ending up one of. And Donna kind of makes a gesture towards one of the people that's frozen and staring.
Okay, that's fair.
So, the first thing I would like to do is I have a couple of questions to ask Miss Mara. And then from that point forward, we can sort of develop our strategy, as it were.
Okay, Mira was still kind of back in the main kind of tent type building. You kind of moved a bit away, you've kind of found an empty fireplace in a corner that you've kind of co-opted, as it were. But you're very welcome to kind of head back there and find Mira and ask whatever questions you have.
Okay. Would anyone like to attend me in my conversation, or shall I go alone?
Okay, I'm going to jump in and say that Vias is going to go with.
Thank you. That was a deafening silence right there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just...
I'm packing to get ready to go to my 5 minutes to pack, and I'm scrambling, and I had to feed the
You
cat.
scramble. It's okay.
Vias basically just is... he raises his hand and says, I have an apology to make to her. I'll go.
All right. We will do that, Vice and I, and the rest of you can stay here if that is amenable to everyone.
Tali just kind of scoots by Diona's side.
Oh, Lance, you don't need to be here. Eat your food.
Yeah, Lena's going to stay with the group.
She's kind of rubbing at the bridge of her nose, like this is too goddamn fucking much to deal with.
Down is a mood. But in that case, I think Susanna and Vice will proceed back to the main tent in order to seek an audience with Mara.
Yep.
Okie doke. So it's been probably kind of an hour or so since you last spoke to Mira. And she's kind of still sat at her desk. She looks kind of a little more frazzled maybe than she did before. And she kind of, you can see as you approach that Gillen is kind of sat towards the back of the tent working on whatever he's working on. And she glances up as you approach and kind of nods in greeting. You're back. Welcome back. How can I help?
Good afternoon. First of all, we would like to apologize for our behavior. It's quite rude and uncalled for, and you did not deserve to be harassed by us in that fashion.
It's very kind of you. Honestly, I can kind of understand why you were stressed and
Vias will nod and kind of do this half bow sort of thing, and just say while he's bowed, my anger was not meant to be at you. The situation was frustrating and terrifying, but it doesn't excuse my anger. I'm sorry.
Well, that's that's very kind of you, but I feel the apology should also be mine as well. I was abrupt and more than a little rude, and well, as you say, the situation is what the situation is, and we're all under a lot of stress, and that might have been directed to you as well. So no apology necessary from yourselves, but I hope you will accept my apology.
Of course.
Vias will nod at that.
So you You said you had questions. I think you said you had...
I did say
that. May help.
Question. Thank you. Well, I just, I don't want to bother Gillen too much. He seems he's quite busy with his current task, and so I figured I'd ask, do you know off the top of your head how many people, approximately, have gone into the temple and not returned?
That's something of a tricky question, because, well, there's the people that we sent in, but then there's all the others who kind of went in without our permission, and we have no idea how many might have gone in before we arrived and set up this camp.
How many people have you sent in specifically?
Bear with me a moment. And she turns kind of to one side and rifles through a stack of papers and pulls out kind of a bunch held together with kind of inside kind of a folder. And she flicks through it, and you can see her kind of counting under her breath. I can't be completely specific, much as it embarrasses me to admit that, but it's somewhere in the region of 20.
Okay, 20 individuals.
Yes, ma'am. Wow, that is a large sum of people. How long have you been stationed here?
We've been here a few months now. We came out a couple of times once word reached Gillen about the temple. Some of those people, I probably should say, some of those people have been lost through collapsing walls and things. There might be slightly less than that actually still in there. The numbers aren't completely precise. We've been here, sorry, I'm distracted. On site in this camp, maybe 2 months. And then in the 2 months or so before that, there were several trips out here where we didn't stay. Once we obviously... It was a little difficult to tell what the situation was until you were here and actually watching it unfold. And yes, well...
All right. Okay, thank you. My next question is, Gillen obviously has been into the temple before. How many people from this camp have been in and come out successfully?
Quite a few. There's 23 of us currently in camp. Some of those are obviously just pure scholars with no interest in exploring. I've been fully inside. I've been just into the entranceway myself, and it's kind of not really my thing. It's somewhat intimidating going in there.
Completely understandable.
But yes, well, of the 23 of us, probably say 8 or 9 have been inside and come back out. We have strict time limits now.
Right.
How long you can spend in. Inside the temple, we recommend no more than an hour or so. But of course, there's travel time to and from, so it's rather limiting the exploration process.
Right, of course. Okay, and
I mean, it's possibly reasonably safe to spend longer than that in there. We just, with everything that's happened, I didn't think it prudent to risk people more than necessary.
Best to err on the side of caution. You are
exactly
right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to answer these questions for me. If I have more, I will come back if it won't bother you too much. I need to discuss some things with my party.
No, that's okay. I'm sorry, my manners are terrible. What was your name?
My name is Susanna.
Pleasure to meet you, Susanna. Anything I can do at all to help, please let me know.
Thank you so much, Myra. Your kindness is truly appreciated. And then Susanna will bow her head and take Vias by the arm and walk away.
She kind of, I don't know whether either of you glance back, but she kind of, as soon as you walk away, she's back to whatever she's working at and kind of her paperwork on the table.
Okay. Susanna will turn to Vias and mutter under her breath, well, I think that was a sweet young girl, and I feel quite terrible for how we behaved towards her previously.
Ren's gone, so...
Yeah, but I still wanted to say it.
I mean, Ren's
Just in case if you were waiting for them to respond.
Yeah, that runs in the
He's posted in the ICRP chat.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So, Susanna will return to the group, and she will, sit herself down by the fire near wherever, I don't know, where people are arranged, how people are arranged, where they're sitting. I don't know what's going on. And she will say, okay, so at least 20 people are trapped in there. 20 people that they have sent in there are trapped in there. This is not including anybody who went in before or anyone who entered without their permission. 20 people at least.
Okay, so we're getting them out, right?
We are exploring the situation and seeing if it's possible to get them out.
Okay.
It is safe at least to spend an hour inside.
Okay. So when are we going? Can we go?
Didn't they tell us 2 earlier?
Did they? I don't know.
I imagine that 2 is including the travel time in and out of the temple as sort of a safe, but time actually inside the temple, she specified at least an hour is safe. And I think for our first venture into this unknown domain, we ought to limit ourselves to 1 hour in the temple proper, even if it seems to us that we can last for longer.
That makes a lot of sense. I understand that.
Excellent. I'm so happy for you, Dylan.
Talia raises their hand.
Yes, Talia.
Okay. Just wondering, is an hour like a measure of distance?
An hour is a measure of time. So an hour is just like a length of time that's, I don't know if it's arbitrary. Hey, Susanna, you have clocks. Do you know why an hour is an hour?
Okay, so let's back up. Let's take a step back. Thank you, Dylan, for the rough overview. Let's get a little more in depth here. Talia, you know what time is, right?
They kind of like do like a seesaw motion with their hand.
Okay, let's try again. Susanna takes out her pocket watch and flicks it open and shows Talia the face of it with the 2 hands ticking around. You see that little, or the 3 hands rather, the little hand that's ticking fast and moving fast in the circle?
Aye.
Every time that little hand ticks, it's a second. Once that second hand goes all the way around, that's been 1 minute. Once that minute hand goes all the way around, that's 1 hour. It's just little measures to measure the little increments as time passes by. So you don't need to worry about the specifics. Just know that we have a way to measure how long we spend doing something.
Oh, all right. What happens when it gets all wobbly?
Wobbly? You're gonna have to clarify exactly what you mean by wobbly. I'm sorry, I'm not real clear on what you mean.
Well, I know that time is kind of theoretically a little bit, I guess. Mostly just days. Because sometimes, days are longer, and then sometimes they're really, really short, and you can't really determine when one's going to be one's going to be the other. So, like, if you're going to measure it, what do you do when it gets wobbly?
I think that's a Feywild problem. Because it doesn't do that here.
Your days are...
All right, then.
Okay, time gets wobbly where you're from. That's not terrifying at all.
Yeah, like, I mean, but I understand, because, like, the stories, they're like, oh yeah, time is weird here. And I like the Feywild is like stories, I'm pretty sure. That's what I've kind of picked up.
Or at least it's a place where all the stories are at least somewhat true.
That's really cool. I've read some really cool stories. Talia, I'll ask you about them later.
Y'all
right.
have read a lot of stories about a lot of things, and I clearly have not.
I grew up in a
so
bookstore.
that makes so much sense, Dylan, and I'm very happy that you had the upbringing that you did. Okay. Talia.
Hi.
Here, the time stays steady and it stays the same, so we can measure it the same way all the time. So it's fairly convenient, having the ticking. The tick is always 1 second.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So every tick, that's 1 second. So 60 seconds, 1 minute. 60 minutes, 1 hour. So you don't have to count them individually because the clock will do it for you, but it's just the way we measure it. Do you understand?
Oh, that makes sense. Thank you.
Excellent. On that note, 1 hour in there, we don't have any idea what to expect beyond the fact that he said maybe there were 2 floors, maybe there's collapsing walls, and maybe there's an entranceway. Those are the things we know, sort of. So I think our first venture into the place ought to be a very sort of brief, cursory glance around to see what we're getting ourselves into.
That honestly seems like the least likely course of action to get us killed. Because if we don't know what the fuck we're looking at.
Exactly. And we're being hired, we're being paid to make maps of the place. I think we should do a few rough sketches to get an idea, but I don't plan on doing anything proper until we've been in at least twice, because it seems like quite the undertaking, and at this point it seems like we'll be lucky if we just make it out alive properly. Objections, any concerns, any comments, any suggestions?
I do have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Are any of you any good at making maps? Tell not.
Talia does another hand wobbly thing, like the seesaw motion.
The meh hand gesture.
Lena kind of raises a hand, and I could probably sketch something out, but I mean, does he want us to everything properly and numbers to it and things, or is it just roughly what's where?
I don't imagine he's asking us to craft something of beauty. From what I can tell, I don't believe he expects us to accomplish it at all. So he'll be pleased with whatever we bring back, but we should at least try to make it readable.
I'm sure we can manage that between us.
Certainly. That's the spirit.
So are we heading into this afternoon, or are we gonna... I mean, there seems to be time to at least, explore a little bit.
What time is it?
It's currently about 3.
I know it's around
PM.
lunchtime-ish. Yeah.
It's about 3 PM.
Okay. So it's around 3 PM now. Oh, yes, Talia. So when you hear us saying what time it is, we're talking about the numbers on the clock.
All right. Thank you.
I just want to keep you updated on that because it's not something you've had an experience with.
Thank you.
And so 3 PM, we've got time to go in. I mean, we should be all right. Everything should be all right.
We're in winter, I believe, are we?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Susanna, you would know that you probably would expect the sun to be kind of down to an extent where you'd want to be in camp by kind of 5:30, 6.
Okay. I think if we should be able to make it back at a perfectly reasonable and respectable hour.
Talia just kind of shrugs.
Well,
I guess we're going in now then.
I suppose so.
Let's go!
And Dylan, we're going to be cautious and careful.
Dylan smiles really big and is just like, what's that?
Dylan?
Hello.
We are going to be cautious and careful. And when the time says we're going to leave, we're going to leave. All right?
Alright, sure. We can.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome, Susanna.
Okie doke. So as you kind of gather your things together and get ready to head in, Gillen did mention to you that you would be able to kind of ask the quartermaster for various supplies and things, but he did also kind of imply that it was fairly basic equipment. I don't know if you wanted to kind of go and see him now, or whether you wanted to just see how it goes and then maybe talk to him tomorrow.
I don't believe that any of us are particularly lacking in any equipment, so...
Talia would like to poke around?
Okay, so didn't actually tell you where the quartermaster is.
Fuck.
But 5 minutes...
An intern to tell us?
Minutes or so, kind of grabbing hold of the first person you see and asking for directions will point you to the big tent, separate from all the others, at the south of the campsite.
Yeah.
And as you head in that direction, there's kind of a man sat outside, kind of... He's got grey hair, he looks older than everybody else. He's kind of sat in a chair, as comfy a chair as you could get in a camp like this. It's kind of a rickety-looking wooden chair that's got blankets and things kind of used to kind of pad the seat in the back. And he's kind of sat there sharpening what looks like some sort of hunting knife as you approach.
Hello?
And he looks up as you approach and kind of squints at you slightly and goes, "Hello?"
To your services, should we require anything before we set out for the temple for our first time?
Ha! More adventurers, eh? Sure.
Yes.
What can I do for you?
I just kind of want to see what you had on hand.
Oh, well, camping supplies, food, torches, rope, usual sort of stuff you need for spelunking or whatever nonsense they've got going on here. There's probably some climbing gear tucked away in the back, unless somebody's nicked it, which is fairly likely, I suppose, with this lot. Can do some arrows if you're needing arrows.
Talia is like a little bit digging through their bag, just kind of like mentally checking things off, and then just go, no, I think I'm good on all that. If anybody else needs anything, no.
I don't have any particular need for those items myself, but if upon our first inspection we find ourselves in desperate need of more torches, we'll be certain to come to you, sir.
Yeah, whatever. And he kind of waves you off and goes back to sharpening the knife.
You have a nice night now.
And he just kind of grunts in vague response to that.
Terrible folk these are.
As you look over towards the temple, turn off. And from where you're standing kind of down in this sort of direction, you can see that there's a noticeable difference between the ground that the camp is situated on and the ground in front of the temple. The camp is kind of situated on hard-packed dirt, where the area in front of the temple is distinctly kind of placed stone. It's uneven and kind of patchy in places. There's kind of plants just starting to sprout through, but there's nothing kind of much higher than kind of a couple of inches of grass kind of sticking through, kind of sawgrass and stuff like that. Whereas you can see from here kind of the distinct edge to the trees in the area in front of the temple. As you glance across these checks, Dylan and Vias, by the numbers as well as by the class, you kind of see a couple of patches where there's this kind of heat haze effect going on. And there's one in kind of this sort of area, which is the vague area that Mercy had gone down to look into whatever was going off, and came to a premature end. You can probably, numbers, Dylan, based on your initial Arcana check, you can count from where you are 3 such kind of heat haze type disturbances scattered across the area.
Okay, so there's the hazy stuff. There's like 3 of them. Do we want to go into those, or do we want to actively avoid those?
Avoid them.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say avoid because
There's one about kind of there. There's one kind of in this area here, and there's one up in this sort of area here from where you're standing. Those are the only ones you can see.
Hold on, can you do that again? Because I need to actually properly look at it.
Yep, there's one in that sort of area, one in that sort of area, one up in that sort of area, and from where you are standing, you'll be down here. I've left the markers further up. You can see, if I just swap these layers, there is a cluster of people that you can definitely, all of you can make out in this area.
Okay.
And there are kind of signs of people further in, but that's the only group you can definitely make out.
Okay. So, yeah, there's heat hazes. We're going to have to... Okay, so if we're going to avoid them, do you guys want to follow me? Because it'll probably be easier than me, like, pointing out that out.
Yeah, how about you lead the way, Dylan?
Somehow I feel like you don't actually like that idea.
No, I was being serious, Dylan. You can say where the...
Okay. So... Dylan's gonna kind of go this way. And then...
You should, I hope, be able to move your tokens to roughly where you want to kind of end up.
In my... Yeah. Hold on. I'll show Dylan's... I can't move my token. Whoops.
Yeah, they might not be assigned to us.
Yeah.
They should have done that automatically. I will... It should do that automatically. Weird.
Yeah. Sometimes Roll20 is hard.
It glitches.
Sometimes Roll20 a hoe.
That's fair.
Okay, hang on. I'll just put these. God, why is the alphabet so hard?
Mood.
Okay, I'm back for now, but again, the Wi-Fi is not working yet, so I can't use Roll20.
Boo.
We will keep you updated on what is going on and roll for you if necessary.
Much appreciated.
God, I sound so insincere even to my own ears.
It's okay, my Roll20 is very slow.
I hope you know that every single time, like, someone's like, Talia, like, I, like, do, like, a little head jerk, like fucking, like, a meerkat motion, because I imagine what they're doing as well.
Yeah, so, like, good. Sometimes I just really wish you could see me when I'm doing Dylan stuff. So...
You should be able to move yours. Yeah, there you go.
I moved mine, so I'm gonna lead us around.
Okay.
So here's the
I will
path.
grab Diona. Nope, I can't grab Diona.
Here's the path.
Yeah, because you guys
I will grab Diona's.
So,
yeah.
Amy, what you could do is temporarily give permission to edit the sheet to someone else, and that'll give them the ability to move everything.
Yeah.
That's the route
I
Dylan
think I can
takes.
just do it. Hang on, I think I can just do it on a
as soon as the
token level.
Wi-Fi is working again.
You.
I mean, I'm happy to. Right, as you're heading through, don't head through too quick. So,
Okay, I'm gonna move back over here. Here's where Dylan goes initially. He just kind of goes around the people and places.
Okay, hang on. I'm just moving. There is another couple of people here, and there is another group of people here. Why can I not cluster these to do all at once?
I love that, and by love it, I mean I don't trust like that.
And as you do, as you're kind of moving through, you also notice, Dylan, as does Vice, that there's another kind of these heat hazes effect there.
Where?
In that sort of area there.
Is it up? I can't see.
Oh, hang on, I'm still in the GM layer. That would be why. In that sort of area there.
Oh, love that for me.
Boop. There we go. I can group tokens to move them en masse.
Okay, Dylan's gonna very carefully move around that and go this way.
Okie doke. As you're walking past these groups of people, you notice that they're all kind of... they're just kind of standing and staring.
PK! PK!
Just kind of standing and staring into space. They kind of... you give them kind of maybe a 20 foot or so kind of... you kind of skirt around them by kind of 25 feet or so. And they don't seem to react to you at all.
Love that.
Talia doesn't like that.
Don't like that.
That's terrible.
No, that's bad. Bad news.
Dylan steps up to the entrance. What happens? Does anything happen?
Talia follows a little bit behind.
Susanna's got guns out.
Susanna's
no,
so
I mean,
valid.
as you kind of skirt around everyone and everything as best you can, the main thing that you notice is that there is a heat haze in this sort of area here. Just kind of... and as you get closer, make me an Arcana check, please, Dylan.
Okay. Hey, so after I make that Arcana check, there's something I'd love to do. Oh, natural 20.
Oh, natural 20.
So after you tell me what this does.
Okay, so now that you're close enough to kind of stand there and focus on this one, because you're going to pay attention to it, think you need to get past it, you notice that it's actually kind of... as you get closer, it's not so much a heat haze. It's kind of almost a cluster of arcane energy. And you can kind of see it fading in and out. And as far as you're aware, none of the rest of the group have seen anything untoward as yet.
Okay, guys.
And there's kind of a vague bluish glow where you can kind of see little flickers of lightning kind of over the surface of what's kind of a vague orb shape. It's maybe 1.5 feet in diameter. It's just kind of bobbing up and down in the air quite happily, doing its own thing.
So Dylan holds up his hand. It's like, guys, stop. Hold on. So heat haze right here by the entrance. It's not the heat haze. It's concentrated. Yes, arcane energy. And Dylan takes out his quarterstaff.
Hang on, there is... which is which?
Dylan takes out his quarterstaff.
What now?
Hold on, let me do my thing.
It's kind of there.
Takes out his quarterstaff, steps into the heat haze, and pokes the orb with his staff.
I hate that.
Dylan?
Okay.
Talia immediately jerks forward to go get him.
Okay.
No, wait, see what happens.
As you're doing this, what is your principal emotion?
Curiosity.
Curiosity. So as the staff goes forwards, you'd expect there to be kind of some resistance as it kind of meets the outer layer. And it's not so much a resistance, but you can kind of feel almost a tingling sensation in the air.
Oh, fun.
And there's no resistance. The staff just kind of sinks straight into kind of the middle of this orb, this manifestation. And you kind of, there's kind of a couple of crackles of lightning kind of come up the quarterstaff, but don't actually reach you. And it's almost as if it's kind of touching the staff to see what it is. And you kind of get a vague sense of curiosity in return.
Talia has jolted upwards to try to pull Dylan away from it.
Talia, no, I'm okay. Don't worry. The orb is also curious.
Talia doesn't like that. Talia's gonna grab Dylan by the arm and pull him the fuck away.
Talia. What happened?
What's my strength roll? Do I have to strength roll?
Yeah,
you
Dylan's
can try and both
you.
do opposing strength rolls if you want to. Talia, go for it.
Wait.
Both of you make a strength roll.
Athletics or just straight strength?
Well,
I'm not proficient in either.
Say for this, just straight strength.
Damn it, I'm proficient in athletics. Ha!
So you kind of resist as best you can, Dylan, but Talia just gradually, slowly pulls you back away from it, kind of a step at a time. And bearing in mind that, Talia, you can't see whatever Dylan is poking. You just know that he's poking at something that he has told you is there. Yeah, you kind of get...
He anthropomorphized something, and Talia doesn't like that.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah, you kind of get that vague sense of curiosity, Dylan, and it kind of bobs a little bit closer to you. It probably stays about 5 feet away from you, though.
Okay. Talia, please let go of me. I'm fine. Don't worry.
Let's go, and Talia, let's go, and kind of shrinks back. Looks kind of sheepish, and then just sort of shrinks back.
Oh, don't
to
worry.
Stand by Diona.
Talia, don't worry. I totally understand why you're nervous, and I'm not saying that your nervousness is bad or anything. Just trust me. I got this, okay? And if anything bad happens, you can totally tell me I told you so later. Okay?
They nod.
Okay. Glad we've got that agreement. Now, Dylan is gonna step towards the orb and touch it.
But for the record, Susanna has had her gun on Dylan this whole time, ready to shoot Dylan.
Okay, that's fair.
Okie doke.
In a friendly way.
That's fair.
As you kind of reach out your hand towards it, it bobs and drifts away from you slightly.
Okay. Don't like to be touched. Got it. Okay, I think we're good to step inside. I think I'm getting permission. I don't know what I'm doing.
I mean, the archway is more than wide enough that you can around it. Or should I say the entranceway leading up to steps is more than wide enough.
Dylan's gonna walk up the entranceway and see if he gets a bad response.
Okie doke. As Dylan walks forward, there is no problem whatsoever.
Okay, I think we can go inside now, you guys. Let's go exploring. Woo!
Okay, however, the rest of you, with the exception of Vias, cannot see this.
Dylan looks like a crazy person right now.
Hold on, I'm here. What is going on? Oh my god.
Dylan did some stupid shit, but he somehow faced no consequences.
Dylan is...
Except Vias or something.
So there are kind of these heat hazers. The one that Mercy tried to attack, or tried to swoop down to investigate. As you're close to them, you and Vias, because of class and because of Arcana rolls, can see that it is kind of some sort of manifestation of almost pure arcane energy. It's kind of almost a floating sphere with kind of little crackles of electricity over the edge. So Dylan decided that the best thing to do would be to poke it with his quarterstaff.
Motherfucker!
However, fortunately, because his predominant emotion was curiosity, the orb actually didn't mind too much. And because he kind of poked
that's your phrasing.
What is the situation? So we saw that heat hazes.
Dylan decided to carefully poke it with his quarterstaff, and then when nothing happened, he tried to pet it, and it didn't like that, so it bobbed away from him.
I like your phrasing. Tried to pet it.
I have to know.
It's in the heat haze as you guys get closer. Okay. You guys can see these orb arcane energy.
I mean, if anyone else wants to try and see it, you can, but it will be a perception check at disadvantage.
Talia would like to because they are the fuck out.
Go for it.
I'm going to attempt to as well, but my roll 20 is still being a shithead, so I'll.
Do you know what your?
I believe it's +5. It's +5 for me, so.
Just roll it in chat. I mean, Lena's rolling as well because.
None of us fucking trust any of this.
Okay, so 17.
Do you know? Like, does it seem like a sentient thing? Haze balls.
Josh detected curiosity from it, and it kind of bobbed back implying that it didn't want to be touched.
No, that's a total of 9 for me.
Make me an Arcana check if you.
Did somebody roll? I don't have.
Hang on, I will roll it for you.
Ren doesn't have roll 20 access either.
Hang on.
Yeah, I'm just getting. I had to ditch my mom.
I swear to God, if we TPK, I'm figuring out how to do an arc where we drag ourselves back from the afterlife.
We're not gonna die, guys. Jeez.
Okay, so Ren, Via stands there and he concentrates and kind of focuses kind of entirely on the kind of orb that's hovering kind of near the temple, the steps leading up to the temple entrance, and you kind of get flashes of kind of emotions, but they're kind of very basic. So there's curiosity, and there's a vague sense of waiting, but there's no kind of thoughts that you're picking up on. There's no kind of intelligence that you are kind of sensing through the fact that you are proficient in Arcana, you're a warlock. There's no kind of intelligence as such.
So it's cycling through language. Can you hear or understand this? No sense.
There's no language, no words. It's just kind of vague snippets of kind of emotion and a vague sense of. It's almost as if it's waiting to be told to do something. Meanwhile, on the perception rolls, the only person with disadvantage, the only person that rolled high enough of those that did roll is Talia. Diona rolled a 4 less.
So it was a total of a 9. Because I can't figure out how to get the macro command to work with disadvantage, so I just rolled the dice straight and then added 5. So it's a total of a 9.
Susanna also got a 9.
9.
It's not one brain cell.
So, Talia, as you're stood there kind of squinting past to where Josh had been poking a minute ago, and it's one of these things kind of like those magic eye puzzles where you kind of have to kind of squint and shift your focal depth to be able to detect what it is you're supposed to be seeing. And you don't see the orb that Dylan and Bias have been mentioning, but you do kind of see kind of a shimmer in the air. And it is like a distortion you would get with a heat haze. So when it's really hot and everything kind of seems to kind of distort in the distance, and kind of looking through that area, the bricks and the stones of the temple beyond kind of almost distorting and shifting. And then you blink and it's gone. You can't see it anymore. But there was something there, you're sure of it.
So I don't see no order, but for a second there I saw it kind of get a little wobbly. And
okay.
They kind of grab onto Diona's arm.
Dylan, is it safe for us to walk?
I'm pretty sure yes. As long as you're not angry, I think.
I think it's okay.
As what?
But his intentions are weird. I don't like this.
As long as you're not angry, it's safe to walk. What kind of...
Well, hold on. So it's curious? Well, I don't know if it's curious, but I was curious at it, and it was curious at me, and I think it can, like... I don't know.
Is it reflecting something?
I don't think it's reflecting. Because it doesn't feel like my curious, you know? Does it feel like how Dylan feels when he's curious? Or is it something distinctly, like, not him? Does the orb feel does the curious feeling he got from the orb feel distinct from himself?
Yeah, it's definitely coming from an outside.
Yeah, I think it's feeling curiosity. Whatever that means. For it. I don't want to be mean.
It's right near where you're standing, correct?
Yes.
So if we give you a wide berth, we should be out of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I know what I'll do with his arm. Or she.
Who needs gender?
So, all we gotta do is walk around and you think we'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it can feel offense, but I think you'll be fine.
Okay. We will probably not die. That's the reassurance that I need. Okay, let's go. Let's do
everybody dies.
Vice, I do not have the words to tell you how unhelpful that sentiment is right now. I just don't have
I mean, it's giving me comfort. I don't...
It does not comfort me in any way, shape, or form. Let's go.
Okay.
Susanna's just gonna walk around.
Okay, so as you walk around kind of Dylan, kind of giving the area where you assume this thing is a wide berth, nothing happens to you. You make it onto the steps and head up the steps towards the temple. The steps themselves are kind of crumbled in places. They're more than easy enough for you to kind of be able to pass up them, but they show kind of signs of age and wear and tear. They're about 30 feet wide at the bottom and they narrow kind of as you go up. And to either side of the stairs there's kind of a large plinth with a huge, as you get up you can kind of see a huge metal brazier on the top of each one, obviously designed to hold large fires or bonfires of some description. On the same level as you kind of get up onto the top of this, there's kind of a platform area that leads to a large stone archway ahead of you, which leads into the temple itself, and there's kind of a stone terrace extending off to either side. From where you're standing, you cannot see anything, kind of broken stones and things, that terrace. It would seem that the entrance to the temple is the main thing here.
But I'm off the fourth party too, so I'll come back, change into PJs.
What time is it exactly at this moment when Susanna is at the entrance to the temple?
It is around 3:20 p.m.
Okay, we're going to say it's exactly 3:20 p.m. and Susanna's just going to keep an eye on that clock.
Okie doke.
Also, hi, Sarah.
Sarah!
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Sarah. We're all gonna fucking die.
We're all dead.
Also, DM, I want to answer a question real quick. Find familiar spell, does that count against me using a spell slot?
You did it as a ritual, did you not?
Yes, I did it as a ritual.
Then no, it does not count as a spell slot.
I just wanted to make sure. Like, oh, I didn't mark it down.
Hi, Sarah. You missed your TPK.
Oh no, who are the new characters?
Yeah, this is my character, Anna. And
this is my bard named Larry the Fable Guy.
I totally rolled a tabaxi bard the other day, so I am prepared to die.
No.
This is
prepared to die.
Gun.
Galia!
G-Wiz.
Josh just plays Gillen now.
Yeah.
Gillen and Bias.
That's the new buddy cop duo. That's all the rage in the theaters.
The new character is Gaira. She doesn't have a gun. She's just even more gay than before.
Oh my god, I love her.
Oh, brilliant.
It should be She-Ra. Oh my gosh. I'm dying inside. I need to get Watchtower.
You have missed Dylan making bad decisions and facing no consequences, so that was a...
Listen, Dylan's never faced a consequence in his life. It is not about
the usual.
I don't want him.
Seriously, it's like you were going to walk past all of them. The other party I'm running with this with, their first response upon seeing those things was, no, can we pet it?
Oh my god. How did that turn out for them?
Considering that they approached it carefully and reasonably subtly for them anyway, they have the same sense of subtle as we do. Actually, not too bad. It was equally hilarious because the person who was just like, no, but can I pet it was my brother.
That's fair.
Of course it was.
That's fair.
And I have to admit, my backup character entirely would have been. I want to see if I can pet it.
No, we're moving past the orbs.
Same.
We are not petting any orbs.
Okay.
Sure.
Odd.
So,
We are the orb petters.
moving on.
I'm pretty sure most of us are too lesbian for that.
Wait, I'm gay, though. What do I do?
We'll leave the ball petting to you then, Josh.
Alright, I think I can handle that.
I hate this. I'm in hell. Somebody kill me right now.
So as you move to the top of the stairs, there's kind of a large kind of carved stone archway that forms the entrance to the temple. There are no signs that there are doors there. There's no signs that there have ever been doors there. And it's not so much carved with symbols, it's kind of with intricate kind of scrolling vines, little flowers and things over it. It's a completely different aesthetic to everything around it. Because I mean, the stone walls of the outside of the temple are kind of dark, almost greasy looking stone. And this is kind of the similar sort of stone, but the kind of delicate flowers and vines are kind of completely mismatched with the kind of aura that the temple itself presents.
Is it some sort of language?
Nope, it's just kind of vines, as far as you can. It's just decorative. I'm not even good enough to make you roll for that. It's just decorative. The area beyond the archway, you can kind of see a little distance into kind of the kind of hallway beyond. There are no kind of torches or independent light sources in there. It is quite dark.
Diana is going to light up a torch. Because she knows she can't see. She's pretty sure that Susanna can't see. That's mostly because she's not actually entirely sure if Susanna is actually human or like Vias just making it. So,
Veil doesn't have nothing. Didn't tell you. Y'all just assumed he was human.
That's fair. I accept that correction, but still.
Vias is a liar.
So I don't know if you guys want her at the back or if you want her at the front. Either way.
How far does torchlight extend?
Let me check.
Alright, I'm checking as well.
Susanna is at the front, so
I want to say
Ask a question, DM, because this might become relevant.
The 20-foot radius for torchlight.
2020. So, bright 20, dim an additional 20. Would it just be the additional 1 point of fire? What would the damage be for Diana smacking someone with a torch, considering both improvised weapon proficiency and can use Pugil's die for any weapons? Would I just add like a +1 fire damage? Would it just all be fire damage? What's going on there?
That is a bloody good question.
Because I know what it says in the thing. If you make a melee attack with a burning torch and hit, it deals 1 fire damage.
Fire damage,
so would that So that just means that if I use it as a beat stick, it does all fire damage? Or do I just add the extra, 1 fire damage to it?
Hang on a second. Let's see what they're saying on here. Because it's 1d4 for an improvised weapon. So...
But because of Pugilist, I use my Pugilist die for... It's like monk bullshit. But I can apply it to any Pugilist weapon, which includes improvised weapon. Which, yes, means that eventually Diana will be able to glass someone with the force of hitting them with a battle axe. And that should probably terrify you.
I love it. I love it so much.
I would say for now... Go away, Reddit. I don't want to talk to you. I would say for now, we'll do it with where you just kind of roll your Pugilist improvised damage and add 1 fire damage to it, and I will have a nosy into that before next session. Rather than derailing the session halfway through.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I make you deal with this. Pugilist is a little bit bullshit, but it's fine. It's fine.
It's okay. My next character is totally going to be a rogue, and I'm going to make you all deal with sneak damage.
Good! We need a fucking rogue!
Yes.
Because sneak damage is fucking bullshit.
I know.
Rogues are like my secret class, so...
great.
My next character is a wizard rogue combo.
I mean, if we meet Thorin...
As you stand kind of just out in the kind of outer section of this archway, you probably have kind of 15-20 foot or so where the daylight extends. And now with Diona's torchlight, as you stood there, you can see kind of another 20 feet beyond that if you don't have dark vision. Are you just... Who's kind of heading in first?
Vi's learned his lesson last. Definitely not at the front.
Susanna's going in at the front.
Dylan's going in right behind Susanna.
Vi's will go after Dylan.
Diona better be up front with the torchlight, though, because Susanna can't say shit.
Yeah, if Susanna's up front, Diona will also be up front.
Okay.
Susanna, if you're at the front, I need you to make me a perception check, please, with advantage, since Diona... Actually, no, just a straight check, because it's Diona beside you.
I guess Talia's in the back, then.
I mean, Lena's kind of somewhere in the middle.
There will be in front of Talia.
Can I note that with Marcus on his shoulder, Dylan has 30 feet of dark vision?
Okie doke.
That's important, because it's dark.
Okay, as you kind of step, you're kind of like maybe a couple of steps ahead of Diona. And out of as you kind of, you turn to make sure that Diona's there with the torch, and as you kind of glance towards Diona, you catch out the corner of your eye, the torchlight seems to glint off something really weird. And you're not quite sure what caused it, but you kind of stop completely still. And you squint ahead of you and you cannot see what it was. But there was something that torchlight bounced off briefly.
Don't like that.
Vias will draw his crossbow.
Did you see that?
Be ready.
DM, would I have seen that?
Make me a perception check. You are on roll 20.
Yes, I've managed to get it working. I had to shut the page and reopen it.
Actually, no, don't bother, because think about it. PK made that... No, she didn't make it with advantage. Make me a perception check. See if you did, actually. Not at the same time necessarily as Suzanne. But yeah, it was almost as if, you know how when sometimes torchlight hits a cat's eye, and you kind of get that weird kind of glow. It was similar to that, but it didn't look like it would anytime you've seen it kind of happening from an animal's eye. It's just kind of, it's there and it's gone, and no matter how much you blink, you kind of stare at it.
On the subject of cats, where the fuck is Vinali?
Okay, somebody else is going to have to keep track of the cat.
Yeah, because Vinali could be Mercy is with Vias. But either Josh or Parker needs to keep track of the damn cat.
I think Parker needs to keep track of the cat because Dylan conjured finale and then just was like, Talia, this is your problem now.
This is Talia's cat.
I will keep track of the cat. I think Vinali is kind of perched on Talia's shoulders.
Okay.
Like a fur collar.
She's got a cat or a bird on their shoulder.
Susanna reaches out and smacks down his shoulder a little bit. She says, "Down, did you see that?"
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good to know. There's something shiny in here, and it might want to kill us.
Via Sinatra.
Probably a fair assessment.
Via Strauss's crossbow.
Yeah, Susanna's gun's out all the way. She's got 2 guns in her hands, and she's ready to fire them.
No.
Okey-doke. As you stand there and you kind of blink a couple of times and you're on alert and kind of focusing, this might have been. Both of you, Susanna and Dione, you kind of see it again. Just glinting up something, as if it's kind of got a reflective surface. And you notice now that there's 2 distinct sources of whatever is reflecting the light kind of bobbing. Backwards and forwards. My roll 20's frozen.
Wait, okay.
But it's fine, keep going.
Also, are we getting switched to a different map when your roll 20 unfreezes?
That was the intention, yes.
Okay, so there's
Probably rejoin as a player.
There are 2 things bobbing.
That you can see it reflecting off of it.
Are they next to each other?
I need to pull up stats for a cat. Fuck.
They're not. It's a little hard to tell because you can't see whatever these things specifically. But you think they're the closest one seems to kind of maybe be about 15 feet in front of you, and the other some distance beyond that. You can't actually tell.
Okay, so it doesn't look like it's 2 eyes bobbing up and down. Okay, cool. It's fine. Everything is fine. They're doing great. We're doing just jolly grand.
Refresh roll 20.
Thanks, D&D Beyond.
Do you want me to step forward and have a look at it?
I think that might be an idea.
Okay, but how far forward are you walking, Fiona?
Honestly, I'm basically doing step, pause, see what happens, and then just keep doing that. Take it slow, and be keeping an eye out. But before doing that, taking a moment to... no, I won't do that. I'll just, step forward, see what I can, and basically... So mechanically, 5-foot step, 5-foot step. 5-foot step, pause, 5-foot step. And keeping an eye on particularly, come on.
Okay, so as you kind of step forward...
doing particularly scan of floor and wall level.
Yeah. Make me...
Also, question, how high are the ceilings?
I have that written down somewhere. I thought I had it written down, apparently I don't. It's kind of quite wide in this area. Quite high, sorry, in this area.
Okay, that's fine. That's what I care about.
It's at least kind of 30 feet. You can't actually see the ceiling, actually, with the torch and not having night vision. Dark vision.
Well, I mean, I'll get that, whatever. I'm not going to argue semantics with the DM. I don't care enough right now. Anyway, so short 5-foot steps, keeping an eye on particularly walls and floor before moving forward, and then just...
Okay, as you step forward, kind of, you can make out the kind of, you kind of 20 feet, you can just kind of make out kind of the detail of it. It's a similar kind of dark, kind of shiny, greasy looking stone that you saw outside the temple. And you step forward 5 feet and you kind of look around you and there's no... It's fine.
Okay.
You step forward another 5 feet, and this time you can kind of see the glint again. And you step forward another 5 feet, and the glint is maybe half a foot or so in front of you. And it stops moving from side to side. It's just kind of bobbing up and down in place.
So it was moving. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
The wall is moving? What?
No, the glint.
Whatever's giving its eye shine is moving.
Okay, how far? So Diana's like 15 feet ahead at this point?
Yeah, she's about 15 feet ahead of the rest of you.
Okay, cool.
Just going through putting tokens on, because despite me saying, do this token for this thing, it's not doing it when I put them on.
It probably will very soon, and then you'll get like 90 tokens.
It's...
Oh, the screen is black because...
Fog of War.
Fog of War. If you scroll right down to the... And I'm going to have to put everybody kind of...
Oh gosh, this is gonna...
Side by side.
I'm using my trackpad. There we go.
Hey, fuck whoever decided that trackpads on laptops would be normal and not like...
Yeah, fuck that.
Dude, I used to have, like, when I was in physics, they had these weird-ass computers that were, like, heavy. Like, in the center of the keyboard, there was no, like, trackpad anything. It was just a little nub, a red nub.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate
I used to
those.
have one of
I
those.
hate those. There's a
Two
reason.
little buttons at the very bottom to click for left and right mouse. Like, what the fuck is this?
There is a reason that I have a USB mouse and keyboard that I bring basically everywhere. Because it's just like, you know what? No, fuck that. Fuck that. If you're gonna make me fucking use that, I'm using my own goddamn mouse.
I know, that's bullshit. I hate it.
Dick. I think everyone's token should be...
Yep.
Do it again by now.
Marching order, Talia was in the back.
Bias was behind Dylan.
Dylan's up front with Susanna and Diana.
Yes, Device should probably be, like, in the middle somewhere.
So, Dylan, did you say you're kind of up front near Susanna?
Yeah, I'm like right behind them.
Okay, doke. Make me a perception check, please.
Alright. Crap. Alright. That's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, however,
Oh.
it's not too bad because kind of Diona and Susanna have already spotted it and know where it is. So
does it seem to react to the torch being drawn kind of close to it? Like, Diona's not going to, like, swing the torch in front, but as she's moved closer, does it seem to react?
Other than the fact that it stopped moving from side to side and just kind of being in front of you, no, not so much. But you notice that as you've got close to it, you haven't got any kind of better indication of what is there other than that kind of glint, the almost cat's eyes effect that you've got. And the only way you can tell that it's there is the torchlight reflecting off something in whatever it is. Dylan, because you are kind of up there just kind of behind Susanna and Diona, you can just kind of see past Diona as you kind of lean over and peer around her. You can see the outer edges of another of these kind of arcane manifestations. Yeah, that.
Huh.
That back down.
Oh, good. Another one of these whore-ass orbs.
Susanna!
Did you just call it a whore?
That was PK, not Susanna.
Yeah, 'cause you don't want to have to deal with the consequences.
Susanna does not say words.
Are you
Like,
sure
that's
about
the
that?
uncut version.
So yeah, there's one of these things bobbing in front of Diona. And it's just kind of sat there, Diona. It's not reacting to you in any way.
Susanna's going to creep up closer behind Diona and just...
Okay, have we done a detect magic on this?
I can cast detect magic. I'm gonna do that.
Like, like, I was not here for the beginning of this stuff, so.
Detect magic. Here we go.
Okie doke. 30 feet. Bear with me a second. What does that extend from you, Dylan?
30 feet.
30 feet.
Yeah,
30 feet.
There.
It's like
Okie doke.
like this much.
But I think these might be solid
So
walls.
as you stand there and you kind of
oh god.
release the spell, and the one that stood in front of it, Diona, immediately pings.
Yeah.
As does another one over here. And they are magical. They are kind of essentially pure magic. The other thing you notice is that there's kind of a certain level of kind of background magic throughout the whole area. It's almost as if it's not as if things are magical that are around you. It's just that they've been exposed to so much magic over the years that they've kind of picked up a certain amount of kind of background radiation, as it were. And everything's kind of got that little bit of a buzz that symbolises that there's magic either in the area or has been in the area.
God, gotta hate that magic radiation sickness.
I know. Shocking, isn't it?
What school of magic?
Yeah, what school?
Are the...
It's weird because it's not as if there's a school of magic. It's just kind of pure arcane energy that's been in this area. There's not enough kind of residue for you to be able to pick up the specifics.
Okay.
Other than to say that, you know, these things in front of you, they're pure arcane energy. And there has been magic in the area. Maybe if you kind of got further in and got closer to something, you might be able to kind of figure out.
Yeah. I want to step up to the one Diona's looking at. Can I touch it?
You can. However, as you move up, you notice that there is another one as well. Further ahead of you.
Actually, wait, never mind. I want to touch that one.
God damn it! Can I reach out and grab him before he does that with the hand that's not holding the torch?
Make a dexterity check.
What do I make to avoid this? Also dexterity?
I would say the pure thing of kind of seeing if you can...
20.
Dexterity is
my
good.
God.
Dual 20s. Holy shit.
Come on.
Yeah!
You reach out to grab him and he kind of ducks that.
Wait.
Dylan. You don't know what they're going to do to you.
Are you listening to them, Dylan, or are you going?
No, I'm going.
Okie doke.
Dylan's never made a good decision in his life. And he's
So
not
as you
start
walk
now.
forwards, and you reach out a hand, again, what is your primary kind of emotion here?
Curiosity.
Okie doke. It doesn't so much... It doesn't bob away from you quite as the one before did, but as you reach out a hand before you can kind of make contact, you get a sense of... It's not as strong as fear, but more kind of trepidation. Do you still want to try and touch it?
No, he pulls back.
It just kind of bobs a little bit and then kind of settles into a little kind of... Almost as if it's kind of sat on top of water. It's just kind of that kind of gentle motion.
Hi.
Dylan.
Hello? No, I'm talking to the orb. Give me a second.
Dylan, remember how I said careful and cautious?
Hello? He's not paying attention. Hello? Hi. We're not here to hurt you. We're just here to, say hello and figure out what's going on. Is it okay?
Down.
Is that
Down.
okay?
I know I promised I wouldn't shoot him, but can I shoot him?
Don't do that. You might fall into the orb.
Might fall into the orb, or it might attract something else's attention.
Wait, where's that one Tom Scott video about an orb? Hold on.
Oh my God.
So Dylan's just looking at the orb. It's like, hello.
Yep, make me an Arcana check, Dylan.
Would go next to Dylan, stand there with his
Natural 20! Again!
Nice.
Yeah!
It doesn't use words, and you get the distinct impression that it doesn't kind of possess the ability to speak, but you kind of get a feeling of curiosity back from it. as if, it's not used to people kind of coming in and trying to interact with it in a gentle manner. It's used to people kind of either ignoring it or kind of trying to attack or just kind of roughly pushing its way past. And it is just kind of, curious.
Why would anyone attack you? You're very nice. You're not zapping me or anything. So I think that's nice.
Again, you get the curiosity and a sense of gentle warmth, like when you're in the sun on a nice day.
That's very nice.
I think Talia wants to reach up and grab Lena's arm, just like,
Yeah, Lena would not mind at all if she did that, because Lena cannot see these things either. She's just kind of, what the hell is going on here?
Susanna is just shaking her head and saying, "Don't Father give me patience. What is wrong with that man?"
A lot of things.
Okay, so can Susanna see the glint off the second one?
Now that she's up here, yes.
Susanna, can you move in front of the other one so that our friends know where to pass that's not going to take them right into the path of these things?
Yeah, okay.
I think
once Susanna moves, Dana kind of goes, "You can move, but directly in front of us, don't step." Directly in front of me and Susanna, there are more of there are odd things.
Tom, have you seen the cat?
There's things, and we're not going to touch them because we're not stupid. Right, Dylan?
Hi, Susanna. I'm very stupid.
Lena at this point kind of pats Talia's hand where she's kind of and just kind of steps slowly. Sorry, as she kind of steps slowly forwards.
Talia will follow.
Vias is going to
eases kind of between the groups up to here.
You were very quiet.
Sorry. Vias is going to staff.
You're cutting.
Vias is going to cast light on staff.
Okay.
Just to light up the hallway, since he ran up basically as Dylan was touching the damn orb. He's like, "Fuck no!"
Dylan did.
What is the distance of the light?
It's same as a torch. 20 bright, 20 dim.
Yeah.
So 20 bright directly around it, and then an additional 20 dim out from that. Which means technically we will have 2 areas of overlapping dim. So would that make for?
Yeah, would that make an area of bright, or would it just make an area of slightly less dim?
Because if it'll make an area of bright, then Vias in the middle, and we stagger out so that we've got as much coverage as possible.
Again, I will say that for now it makes an area of bright, and I will check that for next.
I'm fine either way, but Vias just is like, "Is there any more?" Because he's got dark vision to 60 feet. But
make me a perception check then, Vias.
Yeah.
And Amy, I want to make it clear that Susanna is watching the time kind of obsessively.
Yep, no problem.
Oh my God, Vias, what the fuck? Maybe I should have used He has a +5 to perception. What the fuck?
15, 20, 20.
That's a big mood.
He can't see any more of these things hovering around through the area, but he does kind of glance up ahead and kind of see a ramp leading up, and then see that the path splits into 2.
Cool, okay. Well, 2 pathways.
Also, I'm assuming Vera. Do we have Sarah?
We do have. Wait,
we do.
Yeah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi. Sorry, I'm eating right now, so I'm trying not to smack into the.
Is Vera moving up?
Go full mukbang.
Yes.
Mukbang.
Avoiding the dubers.
Yep.
Yeah, that's. Because once
is
everyone's moved up, Diana is comfortable moving up as well to keep providing light further up and to take any hits from anything that decides to cause shit.
I mean, Lena's going to move up kind of to about here and have a look around.
Talia's not going to follow. Talia reaches out and grabs onto Vera. Oh, damn it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, it's no.
If
Talia
reaches out for Vera, then Vera will stay.
Okay. Talia
I mean, if Talia would have watched taken their hands, so.
Lena's going to call back. We have 2 directions to pick. I can't see any more of those things, but I could be wrong, but I can't see anything.
I mean, I could go to one side and look up it with Mercy, send her.
How about we not send Mercy anywhere?
Yeah, she's already...
It's going to be... Look, I meant to do this earlier, but she told me to apologize for her. Both of us, actually. I didn't mean for any of that to happen, and she didn't think... Well, she thought maybe, and she wanted to prove her curiosity, and...
Vice, are you apologizing for your bird getting killed?
No, I'm apologizing for being angry and snippy. I knew I could bring her back maybe, but
Vice, sugar, you do not need to apologize.
I just feel a little guilty, okay?
Okay.
I freaked you guys out.
It's okay.
The nicest Susanna's ever been.
That's so true.
Maybe we can talk about this when we don't have a weird arbitrary time thing going on.
Yeah,
we only have an hour as far as...
And
that's why I suggested sending Mercy just to see.
Let's just keep Mercy safe for right now, okay? Let's do things the old-fashioned way.
You just watch Mercy. Bye.
Don't want to ping. You know what? I'm just going to use the damn arrow keys, because that's a thing.
Coin toss, maybe?
Now, let's go left.
Always go left.
Talia shrugs.
I like left. Let's do left.
All right.
Who's heading through first?
Diana's the one who's got the torch, so I think Diana will. Unless, so Diana's the one who's got the torch, so I think Diana's going to take point.
Detect magic is still up.
Be behind, so.
Detect magic is still up.
Yeah, which means that we also want Dylan fairly close to the front so we can get forewarning.
So as you kind of head up...
Vias will stay back a little.
Susanna's right by Diana.
There is nothing kind of other than the kind of background hum of magic within 30 feet of you at the moment, Dylan.
Okay. So Diana takes point. Susanna and Dylan behind her?
Yeah, I think.
And again, being very careful and slow and probably moving about a couple of steps before doing a scan, but just Donna doesn't like any of this. This is all bad. This is a whole lot of bad mojo.
Lena's going to stay kind of roughly middle of group for now. So, are we heading up the left fork?
Yeah, I think we're heading up the left.
Yep.
Okay.
Vias will be behind Lena.
So as you head up the left path, you can actually make it all the way up to kind of here. And as you kind of head up to that point, there is nothing within 30 feet of you other than background noise.
Okay.
I'm assuming that you will ask for perception checks if...
I will, yes.
Okay.
My roll 20 just froze up, but Susanna's following.
Yeah, Susanna's between.
I'll move Susanna up.
Dylan and Lena at this point.
And Talia and Vera, I assume, are in the back.
Okie doke. So as you kind of head along the corridor, I'm seriously considering upping my subscription level so that I have dynamic lighting.
Dynamic lighting is really good.
So as you head along the corridor,
I could afford to pay the sub.
Well, I might be starting another game sub anyway. As you kind of head along the corridor, eventually you can kind of see very, very dim light ahead of you and through the shadows. And as you proceed along the corridor, you can see that eventually there is like an end to the corridor. And it opens up.
Okay.
And from there, how far does dark vision go? It's 60 feet, 50 feet.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's 60 feet for most everyone. So the 20 out from the bright light ridge is bright light. Anything beyond that is dim light. So disadvantage on perception.
To be fair, there is light in this next area.
Okay.
In some of it anyway. So as you head up to kind of the end of the corridor, it opens up. And the corridor is probably maybe kind of 30 feet or so. As you head kind of out into the immediate area, it is much higher, much more open.
Talia will let Vera go first, by the way.
As it opens up, what can you see? See most of the area here. Bear with. Nope. Let me scroll in. You can see certainly that area there. The light in this area is patchy. Some of it is kind of regular light, some of it is dim light, some of it kind of, as you head into kind of these areas here, is in darkness. In fact, bear with me a second, I'm just going to kick some things I don't want you to see through to the other layers. And then I'll reveal all of it because I think that's easier.
Yeah, for the record, the orb that had been roughly here had been on the main layer. Briefly.
Yep, no, it's fine. Move it.
It's fine. We're dumb. We don't remember.
So as you kind of step out, as the group steps out of this corridor, it's into an open area, which you assume is the main area of the town. It's roughly 150 feet wide, 100 feet. The end of it kind of disappears into kind of vague shadows and darkness. Most of the light in this area comes from kind of a hole in the roof. The sunlight kind of shining through and down. It's not brilliant. It's kind of a little dappled in places. There are some areas where it's lit by torches. Some areas where it's lit by kind of what seem to be some sort of permanent mage light installation.
Wait, as you torches? As in torches that are still lit?
As in torches that are still lit.
Because that means someone's been here in the last hour, and it's been longer than that since we spoke to Gillen.
You can see kind of clusters of people throughout the area. Again, like those outside, they're just kind of stood there. They're just kind of staring. There's a balcony above, hinting at a second level to the temple. And there are kind of, these bits here are kind of walls, creating a cloister effect down either side, and also supporting the balcony above. There's a large plinth that you can kind of just make out the edge of where you are standing in the distance. And again, it's kind of dappled dim light. You're getting kind of vague shapes rather than kind of specifics here. There's something there. It's kind of a plinth. It could be that it's a small kind of building within the building. It could be something of interest. It might be nothing of interest, but there's something kind of stone shape that rises above the temple floor ahead of you. you can see groups of people. There's one immediately in front of you, kind of stood here as you kind of walk in, and they don't seem to be paying any attention to you.
Don't approach them. They said that they'd attack us if you did. Steer clear of them.
You can probably get out detail up until kind of this sort of area. Beyond that, you can kind of see vague shapes. I don't know. I always forget line of sight detail.
Any orbs or anything in particular other than background magic for detect magic?
There is.
Ooh.
Within the reach of your detect magic spell, right there. I'm not in the right layer. Right there.
I can see it. Can I walk up to the orb? Is that okay?
Yep, nothing happens as you approach it. It just hovers there.
Dylan waves and says, "Hello. We're just looking around. Don't worry."
And again, you get kind of that vague feeling of curiosity, but that's about it.
Okay. And then Dylan walks back over.
I wonder.
There's an orb over there.
I'm trying to figure out why they're here. They are. When you said they had feelings, kind of?
Yeah, they show feeling. I think that's really cool, don't you?
I mean, I guess, but that kind of makes me souls. And that's kind of... I don't know, I don't like it.
I think they're friendly if you're friendly first.
I don't plan on attacking them. I don't trust it. Especially since you said that this place has residual magic.
Yeah, it's like it's everywhere. It's like everything's been soaked in magic for so long that it is magic.
And those things are most likely some sort of variant of this weird magic stuff, I'm sure. I mean,
don't know. Probably, but I think they mostly just float there.
Well, I'm worried about what they might do to us later. Maybe. I don't know. I'm speculating and being...
Deanna, what time is it?
It is. It is about 3:45.
Okay.
About 25 minutes since you entered the temple.
Yep. Could Vias go to the far left where that orb is past and investigate past that?
He can.
Vias also does have light at the moment because he's got his stuff lit up. So
he wants to see if there's any other areas that there might.
That's 20 feet plus 20 feet, isn't it?
And yeah, but he's got dark vision, so it's 40 feet of bright, and then the 20 beyond that is dim.
Yeah.
10, 15, 20, 20. So you can kind of see that sort of distance along the cloister area. You can't see kind of anything that looks like... There's no people up there, and you can't see anything that looks like the orbs. You can see what might be some sort of passageway off to the left. But you're kind of too far away to make out any details.
It looks like there might be a door over here. Maybe we should look to the other side if they have any doors.
Alright. Susanna, are you good to back me up, or do you want to wait here?
I will wait here.
Yep. So yeah, Diana's gonna slowly head this way and see what she can see.
Okie doke. Make me a perception check for Diana.
Dylan's gonna kind of walk towards these people over here.
Okie doke.
I just told you not to.
Susanna?
So as you're heading in that direction, Diona, you notice that there is a glint in this area, similar to the one there was before.
Okay.
Oh, Talia has entered the room, by the way. I just got super ADHD distracted.
Okay, Susanna's going to grab Dylan.
Ping that again?
Sorry, say again, Joe.
Can you ping where the glint was again?
I can, yes. It was in that sort of area there. It doesn't seem to be moving, you can tell, but there's definitely that area.
Okay.
Susanna grabs Dylan so he doesn't go any farther towards the figures.
Yeah, no, I'm avoiding that.
Thank goodness.
What do I roll to avoid all of that?
Oh my god.
So yeah, getting about this much closer, does it seem like the first one I saw before?
Kind of tracking where it is and watched kind of different angles. Yes, it does seem like the one from before.
Okay.
Is it opposed dexterity?
To grab at him?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Excellent.
Motherfucker! What are you doing your dexterity today?
I swear to God, we're gonna put Dylan on a child leash.
Dylan will not be stopped.
Okay.
Yeah. You reach out to grab him, but he is slippery today.
Dylan
God, I hate
O'Brien.
that word choice, by the way.
Slippery motherfucker.
One thing you do notice as well, Donut, as you're heading over that direction, over in this area, you do see kind of another entrance that's coming back from the way you entered.
Yeah. So yeah, going to step around this and get a bit more of a look at these figures here. And yeah, I do have the torch, so
5, 10, 15.
again, not getting within arm's reach, and Diona knows very well what arm's reach is for most people, so
Look exactly the same as the others. They just kind of stood there staring. There's at least one of them staring in your direction, but they don't necessarily have registered that you are there.
yeah.
It's the full kind of 1,000-yard stare.
So does this seem to be like a doorway or an open passageway, or what's going on there?
From where you're standing with your line of sight, it looks like a passageway.
Okay. Okay. She's just gonna move a little bit closer, try and shine the light down a little bit, and just see what.
Whoops. First hand, but hey. As you kind of get closer, kind of about 10 feet away from the closest one, as you kind of sidle close and peek round, you manage to kind of shine the light around and kind of just peek around the edge enough to notice that there is some sort of rock fall or collapse apparently blocking the tunnel or the passageway.
Seeing that, Donna's gonna step back and start heading back towards the group because she's not.
Yeah, I was about to say Talia takes a few steps in that direction so they can see Diona through the dark vision. But
yeah.
I think Vias would continue along that left side there then.
Yeah.
With his light source, probably a good 30, 40 feet up ahead then.
Okie doke. So as you get closer,
Probably right there.
you see that this here is definitely a passageway. And it kind of disappears off down into the darkness. There are there's a few kind of flickers of light down there, but nothing to kind of suggest that there's a torch or anything burning in the corridor. And there is kind of a stone archway in place of a door. From where you... there is... there are a series of symbols carved into the archway.
Does it seem like some sort of language?
Make me a... What languages are you proficient in?
Vias. He knows Common, Elvish, Celestial, Druidic, and Mark.
Okey-doke. Make me a history check then. At disadvantage.
Oh God. Hey! That's not too bad.
You don't recognise the language as such. It's definitely not a language that you are used to kind of knowing to speak and knowing the kind of the words of. But you do recognise a couple of the symbols as probably being abyssal.
Abyssal. Ooh, that's weird. That's really weird. What? Why would that be written in abyssal? I think at that he would kind of like ponder for a moment and then probably call out, "Do any of you guys know how to speak or read abyssal?"
No, sorry.
No, I don't.
Oops,
I'm sorry, did you say abyssal?
Yeah, abyssal. I can't read it. I know what it looks like somewhat, but I don't know what this says, and I don't.
I can't read it either. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, me neither.
Give Talia a couple levels.
I mean, you do have the option to kind of make a copy of the symbols that you can see.
Yeah, I think
kind of...
he would want to, but I don't think he has anything to write on.
Well, good news for you. Literally ask anybody.
Anybody?
You do remember buying Talia 150 pieces of paper, right?
He gave them all to Talia.
And he could just ask.
You wouldn't ask that. That's Talia's paper, not his.
Bias?
As Diana gets back over, there was a passage of there. It looks like it has had a rock slide. We might be able to get through, but I doubt it's worth it.
I'm sure there's people who got killed under that thing. That's what my mirror seemed to imply.
I'd just like to remind everybody, Dylan walked up to these people and is like, hello.
Oh, right. Yeah.
How close are you to them, Dylan?
Like 5 feet.
Too close.
As you kind of move up closer to one of them, they initially don't seem to react. And then you step kind of right in front of one and you kind of wave a hand in front of their face.
Not really
and
like
they reach
in
out
front,
and they grab
but like, not really in front. What?
And Dylan, at the moment, I need you, Vera, and Susanna to roll initiative, please.
God fucking...
I knew it.
Is what idiocy gets him.
Now, this is where I need to find if these markers are set to the people they should be set to.
I told him to. He's like, don't go in front of the people. They'll grab you. Like, it's a damn thing. Oh my god.
My roll 20 is being slow.
Dylan's never been smart.
Three initiatives for Susanna.
Susanna
has her shit together.
Susanna's been ready to shoot Dylan and or one of these things since the moment Dylan set foot in this temple.
Okay, my browser has frozen, which is really nice of it.
No.
Notice how all the rest of us have been avoiding the people and have been skirting around?
Dylan just thought,
old,
okay,
guys.
Dylan just thought if he approached them nicely, it would be like the orbs and they wouldn't get attacked.
Child.
Remember how Susanna tried to stop him?
I can get there in a turn. It's fine. I'm a zoomy motherfucker. What do you want from me?
Except these might be innocent people, so if we kill them, they're not going to come back.
It's
I mean, there are ways to stop them from moving that don't require murder.
right, but keep in mind that Susanna is the one going first, so...
Oh boy.
Also
Yeah.
Remember, Talia doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Did I pack?
I know. I was just raising the point that...
That's cute. Point's been raised. They're still gonna die.
Okay. Bear with me a second here while I just kind of kick my browser into shape. Why must you do this?
It's all good. Don't worry about
because technology seems to object to fun.
Yeah.
It's
Literally, it was like, I was trying to get on Discord and my fucking Discord would not let me on. I was like, fuck, just let me talk to people.
Yeah,
Also,
and when my Wi-Fi went out,
Oh,
I couldn't
God.
fucking...
Also, I'm sorry if my yawning gets anybody else yawning, because I'm just a sleepy bitch, I guess.
Hey, don't worry. I did a whole day and now I'm tired too, so I might start using.
Okay.
Excuse
I now have like to pull up. What's the button that it throws a ducky fit? Well. Okay, if I randomly start swearing, it's nothing personal to any of you lot.
It's a mood.
I don't mind. Except I do what it's aimed at me.
Also, you had Vera's selected for that.
Ugh, I shouldn't have done.
It's okay. It's not going to be great anyways.
It's okay.
Yeah, so you'll need to switch Vera's to 11 and then add the other 3 manually.
Yep.
I got it.
That's what I was intending to do.
Now, since the
Well,
rest
I
of
rolled
us...
some brilliant initiatives there, didn't I?
I mean, it does actually kind of make sense, though. Also, you rolled twice for Adventurer 3.
I did. That's fine.
It's fine. Everything is fine. They're gonna get killed in a second anyway.
Stop saying that.
Okey-doke.
You're right. It's possible I could miss and hit Dylan.
No, that's not a possibility.
You should do that. I'd love to see what happens if you do that.
Okie doke. Meanwhile, the first one has tried to grab a hold of you, Dylan. So it's opposing strength check.
It would be athletics on its part versus either Dylan's athletics or acrobatics.
Oof.
I've been running a grapple character. I know how this works. And I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job as DM. It's one of those things. It's just like, I know what I'm doing in this instance.
So it reaches out and the one close to you, he reaches out and grabs a hold of you, Dylan, but you manage to kind of just jerk back almost reflexively and the grip is broken. However, Susanna, you are staring in that direction, pointing your gun presumably at Dylan.
Yes.
Out of sheer frustration when you see it reach out. You see the first of these people kind of reach out and grab.
Okay, so I'm just gonna shoot it twice just to get us warmed up a little bit.
Okie doke.
And at the sound of gunfire, that draws the rest of our attention, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So at the end of the round, we're getting initiative as well?
Wow.
Oh shit, that was an up.
Oof.
I assume you're
That's a
aiming at
misfire.
the one that. I assume you're
It's
aiming
fine.
at the
1 minute. I need to roll a d20 for my misfire, and if I don't roll a fucking natural one, I'm okay.
Okie doke.
Please.
Misfire, do it.
Misfire.
Don't. Don't break Susanna's gun.
Okay, we're good.
Fine. Calm down, y'all. I ain't a rookie.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
The first, I assume that you are firing at this one here that had grabbed Dylan.
Yes.
Okay, the first shot misses. It goes wide and you kind of hear it ping off the stonework.
Misses.
But the second one definitely hits. We'll go through the first round of combat and then everyone else initiative.
I'm just checking distances.
And
So the second one hits. That's 13 points. Oh, I need another post-it to write these down on.
Vice, that's a wall. You're gonna have to go around the wall.
I know. I'm just wondering how far they are.
I can't maths. Where's my calculator?
16 points of damage.
Yeah, because as long as...
Oh, I know it's 16, but I'm trying to take 16 away from their hit point.
I gotta run to the bathroom.
Okey-doke.
I'll be back.
No worries.
I also do my bonus action palm pistol?
You can.
Thank you.
Yeah, Susanna's got her shit together.
I assume
Definitely
a 26
hits as
will
well.
hit.
It does. So if the 3 gunshots ring out kind of in quick succession, which grabs everybody's attention.
Now the next question is: not only does it grab our attention, does it grab the attention of any of these other groupies that are in sight?
We'll come to that discussion after the first round of initiative. Because this is kind of all happening at exactly the same time. So, Susanna, you see 2 shots distinctly kind of hit. And it's weird because there's kind of no, other than the kind of jerk of the body as kind of, the impact hits with the momentum of it making them flinch backwards, there's kind of no sound. They don't scream or make any noise of pain as the 2 shots hit, and they should have been making pain because those were spot on shots. Was that first one doubled?
Susanna kind of grunts in frustration.
I don't know that the damage on that first shot was doubled. 1d10 plus 4 is 8 plus 4. No, I don't think it was doubled. So that should be more than that. Okay, hang on. For some reason, sometimes it just doesn't double the damage on the natural 20s.
Yeah, what Roll20 does is it rolls an additional damage dice. It doesn't roll the damage.
Yeah, I know, but I'm hovering over it and it
with that nat 20 Susanna rolled, it's done the d10 plus 4 and then plus an additional 4, and the extra plus 4 is the second dice it did.
Oh, okay.
So the first
right,
number
so it hasn't
is the
showed it.
actual...
No. Yeah, but it's saying roll 1d10 plus 4, and I'm hovering over it. It just 8 plus 4. It doesn't say that it's rolled a second number.
So that's the plus 4 next to the 12.
Oh, okay.
So the original roll is the 8?
No, but the plus 4 is the dexterity. It's just dexterity.
The 1d10 plus 4. So the 8 plus 4, and then there's an additional plus 4 in the...
Yep, sorry, no. I'm being... Yep, sorry, it's 5 to midnight, I'm being dense. And I can't maths. Never mind, I can totally, count. Oh god, maths.
I hate math.
So, Susanna, this guy is looking kind of distinctly battered and bruised, despite not making any noise to that effect.
I mean, I probably can't see shit, right? Like,
there's enough light in here for you to kind of probably, you can see where they are.
Okay.
And you can kind of see probably about 60 feet around you.
Okay.
Before you kind of get to squinting into weird shadows that are moving because of the moving light.
Okay, but so I can tell that it's looking bloody, or
you can tell that they're looking kind of battered and bruised. Okay. Feyre, you are up next.
I should have taken hold person. That's okay. I'm going to cast command at 2nd level. which means I can target 2 people.
Oh, geez.
So I am going to target the one right next to me, and then the redheaded one.
Okie doke.
And I'm going to command them to grovel.
Okay.
So they fall prone and end their turn.
So what is the wisdom? So what is the save on?
The save is 14.
Wisdom.
So the one that Susanna hit makes the save.
Yeah, sure does.
And the redhead does not make the save. So kind of drops down immediately to her knees and just kind of cowers almost before you. Is there anything else you would like to do on that turn?
That's my turn, I think, because that was an action.
Yep. Any bonuses or anything?
Nope.
Okie doke.
Sorry, just looking at my...
No, don't worry about it.
Nope, that's it.
Okie doke. Dylan, then, you are up next. I caught that twice. No ways.
Dylan is angry.
Dylan is up next.
Yeah, Dylan is angry.
Oh boy.
Yes, angry Dylan.
I'm trying. Sorry, I've been thinking about what he's gonna do, and I literally have no idea. I'm not used to Dylan being angry. This is a new emotion. Oh god. He's not gonna attack. I feel like that's important. Oh, okay. Dylan doesn't care if this provokes an attack of opportunity. He's gonna walk up to Susanna and step out of the range of that adventurer there. So if that's an attack of opportunity, he's fine with that.
What?
It will provoke an attack of opportunity.
Is the thing gonna take it? Is the guy gonna take it?
He is. However, what he's going... Actually, no, he isn't. He's going to try... No, he is going to take an attack of opportunity. And before, where he kind of grabbed at you with both hands and didn't seem to have a knife in his hand, right now he suddenly has a knife. Why is that listed down as a ranged weapon attack? I don't know. That is a 13 to hit.
That misses.
So he kind of swipes at you with a dagger as you step back, kind of showing no signs of the injuries that he had or should have, as he does.
Dylan's gonna... Susanna has 2 guns out right now, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's got 2 guns.
Dylan's gonna press his hands over the barrel of each of the guns, push them down, and just say, no.
Oh, that was a mistake.
Oh boy. Oh boy, Dylan.
This is how Dylan dies, you guys.
Is that all you're wanting to do for your action, Dylan?
Yeah, that's all I'm doing.
Okie doke. We will move on to Susanna's reaction in a moment then. Meanwhile, it's the guy that Susanna shot's turn. And he's going to turn around and he's going to point at you, Susanna. And I think I'm going to have to roll for that. And he kind of opens his mouth and you can kind of almost see the lips moving, but there's no sound that out. And that is a attack roll. Because I didn't have time to put this all in, so I'm having to roll manually. So
Big
it's a 15 to hit. Does that hit you, Susanna? So that hits. And he is casting Inflict Wounds. So that was 14 points of necrotic damage.
Spell. That's a touch.
Is it a touch spell?
Yep.
It's touch.
Creature.
Okay, well, in that case, then, he's going to move up to Susanna. It's because I've not put any of the details in.
Yeah, opportunity attack from Vera or Dylan if Dylan wants to take it.
You think Dylan's taking an opportunity attack after what he just did?
I doubt it, but I'm just saying that it would proc.
Vera, do you want to take the opportunity attack?
I will take it with non-lethally if possible, like trying to trip them or something. I can't really do that, but that's sort of.
I would say make an attack.
Okay.
Don't worry, Vias can heal. There's 3 people in this party that can.
The hell is my weapon? Alright, I'm just gonna roll. Just gonna roll a d20 and add my strength to it.
Yeah, I would say if it's an unarmed attack and you're trying to just kind of punch them to the ground or something.
Yeah, or I can't grapple.
The way I generally tend to do it with my groups is just kind of like, right, okay, make the attack, and then as long as it's not a natural 1 or a natural 20, then you can just say, I don't actually want to do lethal damage.
Oh, no. I mean, plus.
God,
so that'd be plus 5.
No.
Yeah, that'd be strength and proficiency because everyone is proficient with unarmed attacks.
That hits.
I can't make this a grapple, can I, for an opportunity attack?
No, that's a by raw. No, sorry, I'll stop back.
It's an action rather than a reaction.
All right, thought I'd ask. So yeah, just
So that actually does hit. Roll for damage.
And am I rolling for a mace, for my mace, or just is this?
It depends. If you're just trying to punch him, it would be a number.
1+ strength modifier.
Yeah.
All right, so
I can never remember it off the top of my head, that one.
So it'd just be 3
again.
Okie doke. So you kind of see him as you reach over and punch him. You see him kind of stagger. It's not enough to bring him down. If you're going with the unarmed strike, he is looking kind of very rough and ragged around the edges, though. At which point he comes up to Susanna and just kind of almost stumbles, reaches out and places a hand on your arm, Susanna.
Which arm?
Your left arm. No, your right arm, because you'll be facing that way.
Okay.
To your right arm. And your whole arm goes numb. It's all you can do to kind of keep a hold of your gun that's in that hand. At this point, you do take the 14 points of necrotic damage. Because... Oh, hang on.
Okay. Great.
Cool.
I need Lena's character sheet, because I don't think she has that yet.
I really hope they don't call me up for dinner, because I want to destroy this. I can't...
Okie doke. However, that is the entirety of his turn. And like I say, he looks distinctly battered and bruised around the edge. Command. Do they get... I'm right in thinking, am I not, that they get to retake their wisdom save at the end of their...
It just lasts 1 turn. It's like, it's just what they do for that turn is drop prone, basically.
Okay, so that is all the red-headed adventurer gets to do this turn. She's just there on her knees, kind of, again, with the blank stare and the blank eyes. And it is this guy's turn here. This one here is going to come up to you, Vera, perceiving you as the closest threat. and he is going to swipe at you, short sword.
Okay.
And again, he's kind of, as he runs towards you, it's almost as if he's looking straight through. His movements are smooth. It's not kind of like jerky movements as if he's being controlled at all. But there is nothing remotely resembling intelligence in his eyes.
So no zombies.
Ooh.
They don't look like zombies, no, and I'm afraid that's a natural 20.
Sure is.
Oh dear.
So,
Wait, short sword or long sword? Because short swords are only one-handed.
short sword.
Okay, so yeah, if you just click the name of the
short sword
attack roll.
Yep.
No, short sword
okay, I
can't
can
be.
take
Short
it.
sword is one-handed. Long sword is one or two-handed.
Yeah, I know, it's because I've copied it over from Lord. So it is just...
Ah.
So it's the first number.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah,
rolling.
if you,
It's rolling with... So it's 2d6 because it is natural 20.
Yeah, if you just click the name of the attack roll, it'll roll it. It'll roll whatever you set up for the macro.
I don't know that I've set up the macro correct, that's why I'm tired.
Ah, okay.
So that does 10 points of slashing damage to you,
Fine.
Vera.
And that's the end of the round, so
That
all of us
is
are
the
rolling
end
initiative.
of the round. So everyone else roll initiative, please.
Oh my god.
Are we ready for Susanna?
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Dylan, what have you done, Dylan?
Dylan's made a mistake.
Awesome.
Talia,
Talia.
jeez.
Oh no. I'm like literally tearing up right now.
Is Lena supposed to have a +4 to initiative?
She does because of a feat.
Oh, yeah, she has,
The
thingamajig,
alert
good luck.
feat.
Yes.
I also have a
Parker.
+4 to initiative, but it doesn't fucking matter because I can't fucking roll initiative with Talia for some reason. Ah!
Parker,
better than
welcome
mine.
to my world.
I rolled fine initiative with Anton and Moira and everybody the fuck else.
I'm
Talia just doesn't want to fucking fight anything, I guess.
I'm
God
the
damn.
I'm the Wheaton of every party.
Rip.
So is that why you're trying to get shot?
Party.
Everything I touch is cursed.
Okie doke. Bear with me, for some reason this is putting things in descending order. There we go.
There.
Okie doke.
Oh
Susanna.
God, Dylan.
Okay,
Dylan,
it's my
what
turn.
have you done?
It's my turn.
It is your turn.
Okay, so Susanna, both of her guns drop out of her hands and land on the floor.
Uh-oh.
And she screams and just backs away from Dylan as fast as she can, which I know will provoke an opportunity attack, but she doesn't know.
What the fuck?
It does, because we're back to the top of the round.
Oh my fucking god.
What the fuck?
Yeah, you fucked up.
Susanna.
I was expecting to get shot. TK, what the hell?
I said the consequences weren't that easy. You should have listened.
Not going to make an attack of opportunity this time.
That's good. Okay.
Almost seeming to be kind of shocked by the reaction, by Susanna's reaction, or something about Susanna's reaction, or just something about you just, as you step back away from Dylan, just you expect an attack to come and it just doesn't.
Yeah, so she doesn't expect an attack to come. She stumbles about 15 feet back and then falls back and lands on the ground and just continues scrambling backwards.
Ginger, we're already
Oh, tight.
Cool. What the fuck?
Hey, how the hell was I was not expecting that.
Diona, because you're right next to her, you probably hear her saying, I'm sorry.
Fuck this.
Oh, wait, no, I know exactly what's... PK.
Yeah. Yeah, that. Yeah.
This is possibly the worst reaction to have in Dylan's presence.
Wow, PK.
Look, it was a combination. If it hadn't been for the hand thing, it wouldn't have.
Oh my god!
If it hadn't been for the right hand, if it hadn't
been the other hand, she would have been okay, and she would have shot Dylan.
PK, you motherfucker! You motherfucker! I hate you. Okay.
PK.
I'm sorry.
PK.
I'm sorry.
I don't like that, and I don't like. I'm so mad. I'm outside of Dylan. I'm so mad. Dylan's not mad anymore. I'm mad.
Okay, so that's Susanna's turn. Her guns are on the floor by Dylan, and she's on the floor by Diona.
Okay, Lena just kind of blinks a little bit, and then, hang on, 5, 10, steps forward.
Oh my
towards
god.
That had just kind of
Can
spooked.
we do talking as a free action? I just have to verify out of character.
I would say so, yes. As long as it's not kind of an attempt to as long as it's not something that requires a skill check. So if you're attempting to kind of persuade or intimidate or anything.
State Susanna's in, hear what she's saying, and go, I'll cover Susanna, you guys cover.
Yeah, that'd be fine. It's generally, if it's a skill check required, then I would say no. But if it's just something like that, then go for it.
Talking
it's basically it's setting up the standing orders.
Yeah, I would say kind of anything that kind of says, somebody needs to move here or giving specific instructions would probably take an action. But anything just like that, no, it's fine. Lena is going, however. Lena, having seen this guy grab at Dylan, swipe at Dylan with a knife, and then come up and do whatever the hell to Susanna, Lena is not about fucking about. He's just going to hit him with the Warhammer because he's hurt the party and shit is weird in here, and he just did. Between him and Dylan, they've sent Susanna into panic, and that is creeping Lena out. So she swipes at him with the Warhammer and misses.
Lena just doesn't have much luck with that Warhammer.
No, it's
me. But she does have extra attack now, so...
It's me. I have the most... I roll more natural 20s as GM and more natural ones as a player than is fair.
That's a big fucking mood.
And that is pretty much all I can do, really, without wasting spells on this. So she's just going to kind of swipe at him with the Warhammer, miss. It kind of, you can kind of hear it kind of clang on the stone as she kind of swipes and miss, and you can kind of hear Dylan can hear Lena just quietly go, shit. The rest of you can kind of hear Lena. The rest of you can hear Lena muttering, but not this fix. Vias, it is your turn.
Don't you get extra attack?
I don't believe I do at level 5.
Yes,
level 5.
You
you're
level 5.
Sweet.
Pretty much the only classes that get extra attack who don't get it at level 5 are fucking Valorbots. Or, I think, no, even the
I forgot that I'd leveled up.
I don't think
I
it's
did that
the second attack.
So she's going to bring the Warhammer. So the Warhammer, she's kind of gone down with the Warhammer. She's just grip and back up. Hey. And as she brings it back up single-handed, it just kind of... It's like an uppercut with the Warhammer. Nice. And it just sends him backwards off his feet onto the floor. Count.
Motherfucker. Okay. Shit. So Vias is gonna run 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet. What's going on? Like, who's, like, all damaged and stuff? Like, what is the situation that he's...
a guy with a short sword kind of menacing Vera.
Oh boy. Well, he already had his crossbow drawn, so he's going to take aim at the one near Vera. And he's going to attempt to do non-lethal damage at a point where it would be like not a life or death thing.
So you're aiming for a leg or something?
Yeah.
Cool.
Something that'll at least for that one. Natural 20 on your fucking clue.
Yeah, that hits.
Oh my god, okay. So what damage does that do? Let me see. I don't have the macro correct on that thing, so it's 1d8 plus 2.
What, 2d8 plus 2? Because you double the dice.
And you can just click the name of the attack in the chat and it'll roll the damage.
Okay, well...
9 points total. Yes, it does, because the first number is your initial damage, and then it adds the second dice with the second number.
Okay.
Okay, so are you aiming at an arm or a leg or what? I mean, you've got a clear line of sight, and it's a reasonably easy shot to take, and the bolt just kind of sinks right into kind of the back of his calf in his right leg. Shifts slightly, almost as the knee almost buckles, and then they just kind of straighten the leg again and carry, seeming to pay very little attention to the damage they've just taken.
And that, how injured does everybody look at this point? Like, take a really big blow? I couldn't tell.
From where you're standing, the only person you can see that might have any damage is probably Vera.
Vera.
Don't believe Dylan took damage.
I thought he did, okay.
Susanna took damage, but...
The specifics other than Susanna is panicking about something.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's damage that would actually show up because it was necrotic, for fuck's sake. So
and there's a lot of dress.
I was going to say that part of her body is completely covered.
Yeah, I think then as a bonus action, he would probably cast Shillelagh on his staff. What's going on? Why are they attacking us?
15. Okie doke. Notice out the corner of your eye, Vias, that this kind of orb in this corner, something about it shifts. There's a little bit more lightning than there had been. There's kind of a little bit more... The bobbing kind of seems a little faster than it had been. Is that the end of your turn, Vias?
I think he would move. Because he moved 25.
You've got 5 feet left, as far as I can tell.
He'd probably move.
Okie doke.
He's noticing that while he want to travel, like, or actually, he would want to go from here to, like, across.
Okie doke.
There, just to be closer.
Yep, no problem.
Thing goes off.
Doke. In which case, then, Vera, it's your turn.
To straight up with my mace, just take a swing, but also still non-lethally.
Mm-hmm.
Probably for the other leg.
Just trying to break this fucker's kneecaps?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that hits.
And a mace, is that a D6 or a D8? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure
D6.
D6.
Most simple weapons are D6s.
Yeah, that's what I thought. How did I get a 7? That's
so you kind of...
How did I fuck that up?
Yeah, you fucked that up. I'm not quite sure how. I think it's the exclamation points next to it.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah, that's weird. What did I do? Jesus. I'll just roll. So just 1 + 2 is 3.
Okie doke. So you bring it round and you aim for the other knee. And this time the knee does give way. And he's kind of bearing very little weight on his left leg. And he's kind of limp. You kind of get the impression he's probably not going to be able to move far very quick. But he is still upright. Although looking very, very battered and bruised around the edges.
Do I have another attack?
No, I don't think clerics do.
I think clerics do.
Yeah. Rip. Alright, that's it, because I don't know that Susanna's hurt, really.
In which case, then...
Would I recognize, what was it that the guy used on her?
Inflict wounds is a cleric spell?
It is a cleric spell. I don't know that you were necessarily paying close enough attention to be able to tell what spell he used that moment. However, talking to Susanna will probably give you enough clues to figure out what it was.
All right, that's fair. Then that's
I
my
don't
turn.
think Susanna's particularly able to talk right now.
What are you talking?
That's
ready to hold a conversation.
Part of the issue to solve. In that case, then, Dylan, it is your turn.
Hold on. I'm eating. Give me a second.
No problem.
You are valid.
I was like, I'm gonna take a big bite of bread, and then you're like, Dylan, it's your turn. So here's what Dylan's gonna do. I don't know why I said that like that. Dylan's gonna. Guys, please stop attacking. Just back off. I don't think they understand that they're hurting us. And he's gonna say that. Just make sure everyone hears that, because he's not happy with anything that's going on in the current moment. And he's gonna pick up Susanna's guns. Take them over to her, put them down in front of her, and then back off and hold his hands up.
Okie doke.
And that's
his
turn.
Okie doke. At which point it is Talia's turn.
Oh, is it finally my turn? Oh, Jesus.
I mean, I got a fucking 2, so you're still going ahead of me, so it's fine.
Okay. Alright, Talia sees all the fuck that just went down. They are going to use their full movement, not dash, it's 45 feet, to get there. Noom. And as I pass, can I just drop Vinali at Susanna?
I love Talia. I fucking love Talia.
She's good.
I will consider that a free action, because that's adorable.
So, there is now a Vinali at Susanna. And Talia ends up here. And I'm going to more or less just one hit the one that I am flanking with Vera.
Yep.
Boy?
Yep.
Or woman or non-gendered thing. I don't know what it is.
That one is... I've been saying him because the picture looks vaguely male, but...
Genderless enemy.
And then the one on the other side is also prone.
What?
The one in front of you is prone as well, so...
No, I mean, does it hit? I assume yes?
Oh, it definitely hits.
Okay. 10.
That is more than enough to send him down in a heap onto the floor.
All right.
Unconscious for the moment.
Oh, Talia wasn't going non-lethal.
Oh, well, in that case, then, no, he's
I'm sorry.
Dead. No, that's fine. Neither was Lena.
Talia doesn't give a fuck. And then I am going to spend a key point, do Flurry of Blows.
Okie doke.
Don't forget your extra attack.
Oh shit, I do have an extra attack. Thank you.
And
Joe is extra attack like Guardian Angel.
And this other one is prone, so you get advantage on the attack.
Yeah, so that's just going to be another hand axe at that motherfucker. I need to set up the damage type for a hand axe at some point, so...
Slashing, yeah. You have extra attack, and then you have the single bonus without spending a thing.
But I want to...
Why do I know how other people's classes work and don't even fucking know my own?
17 hits.
17 hits? 5 damage?
Okey-doke. Yeah, you swipe away with that hand axe. Kind of, it's because they're prone and they were groveling, so their hands are flesh on the floor. So you've literally got a clear sweep at their back, and you kind of manage to find a gap in between the bits of the chainmail armor. And that axe sinks quite deep, not so much as a flinch.
I am gonna flurry of blows.
Go for it.
Advantage?
Yes, because they're
16?
prone. 16 just hits.
8 damage? Holy, I'm doing more damage with my fists than I did with an axe.
Yeah, they're kind of...
That
yes.
But
13 misses.
yeah. Okay. But yeah. So 13 damage total on that motherfucker.
They're looking really very battered and bruised by this point. Is that all of your turn?
Yes, I am out of action.
Okie doke. At which point it is their turn. And there's not even so much as a hint that they're shaking off the command that Vera had put on them. They just clamber to their feet.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Hold up. Just as a...
Open hand monk?
Yes! Uh-huh. I keep fucking forgetting. As an open hand monk, I can, as with landing and flurry of blows, I can impose one of the following effects. It's like a list of them. This motherfucker... It's already prone, so... no point in pushing it away. So I guess it can't take reactions until the end of my turn. Next turn.
Okey-doke.
No reactions for this motherfucker.
Okey-doke, no worries.
I keep forgetting about that.
So they kind of push themselves to their feet, and as they're upright, you can see they look distinctly battered and bruised by now. And there is a great axe in hand, and they are just going to turn and they are going to swipe straight at you, Talia, because you are the one that's just drawn their attention.
Yep, go for it. That hits. That hits.
Oof.
Okay, should we say? Does a grand total of 4 points of damage, because that was a natural.
Bless. I will take it.
So they just swipe at you with the axe. And that is their turn. They do... No, that is their turn.
Great.
Owner, it is now your turn.
This is a fucking bitch of a situation. Yeah. Donna's kind of gonna look around, Do any of the other ones that seem to be in the range of the light seem to have caught the attention to what's going on?
The ones that are kind of within visible range is this group up here, and they do not seem to be reacting at all.
Okay. Going to crouch down. What direction is Susanna facing?
She was shuffling backwards when she basically tripped and fell over her skirt, so she's still looking in Dylan's direction, but she's not looking at Dylan. She's just pointed in that direction.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. Susanna's going to crouch down and just Susanna. She's just gonna lightly reach out and rest her hand on Susanna's shoulder. Just very light, sort of gentle tapping touch, and Susanna, come on. And also next. Do a little bit of a trying to keep her from further. And weird question.
Mm-hmm.
Without being up in her face, is it possible to use myself to shield her from? Without being too in her face and looming, is it possible to use for Diana to use her bulk to shield Susanna from whatever the fuck's going down?
I would say that if you held your action, I would let you kind of use that to kind of move within Susanna's melee range to protect her from an attack.
That's pretty much what. So Diana's pretty much trying to get Susanna to come back enough that she can move under her own power.
Yeah, it's kind of holding your action to use kind of movement to put yourself between Susanna and a potential attack, so you would take the damage in Susanna.
That's fine. I'm fine with taking the damage. That's my fucking job.
Cool.
Okie doke.
And Susanna currently needs to not be. So yeah, trying to just light hand on the shoulder, not the on the left shoulder if possible. Light hand on the shoulder and just Susanna, come on, come back to us, okay? And readying to, if anything tries to hit her, move between it and take the hit.
Okie doke. Top of the round. Susanna, it is your turn.
Oh.
So we will do that first and then I will make the comment about this.
Okay. So Susanna doesn't really acknowledge Diona. She's sort of turned away and is... Wait, first question. Is her arm... Has the numbness faded from the inflict wounds?
It's faded. You've kind of got residual pins and needles, but it's mostly faded.
Okay. So she's turned and is scrabbling and grabbing and just trying to pull the glove off of her right hand. And under her breath, she's saying, take it off, take it off, take it off. Please, please, please take it off. And that is what she's doing with her turn. She's just trying to pull the glove off her hand.
Okie doke. Can I just say, I'm actually quite traumatized by the fact that I've managed to accidentally traumatize Susanna.
Yeah, it's a good
no,
time.
this is my fault.
Technically, you didn't traumatize her. The trauma existed. It's just that somebody...
This is my fault.
This
is my fault.
It's entirely your fault. Part of it is the fact that it was the right arm.
It's,
but yeah,
it's the combination. It's everyone's fault. Let's just move on.
It literally was only the right arm because that's the direction you were facing and your right arm was closest to it.
Yep, it made sense. It made perfect sense.
Lena,
if you've done to Susanna what I think you've done to Susanna, I need you to turn on your location so we can talk.
I haven't done anything to Susanna.
PK, I cannot express the depth of my anger right now, and also I feel so bad.
So apparently it's just a time for party members to accidentally traumatize other party members.
It's a good time. We're doing great. Move on. It's the next person's turn.
Let's go. So we're not wasting time.
Just going to ask about that whole get it off, get it off, get it off.
Our poor DM.
I know what the answer probably is, but would Diana be able to free action to try and help get it off? Or no?
I would say not when it comes around to your turn, you can try to, yes.
Okay.
Lena is going to 10. Move up and over here. And she's going to punch this one in the face. At least one of them alive and awake to answer questions. However, that misses. Almighty. So second attack. Try it again. That one hits.
Good job.
3 points of bludgeoning.
Irrelevant, but you can actually put smites on unarmed strikes.
I'm really not going to do that against a small
I know.
thing like that. Also, I have the disadvantage of knowing exactly how many things. So you.
No, I'm just stating in general.
Yeah, Susanna kind of swings with a punch with her right hand, misses completely.
I assume you mean
and kind of.
Yeah, you said the wrong thing now.
Brings a hand back round in a backhand and just kind of catches the dwarf in the face. And this is intended to be non-lethal and just where's my mouse? Drops to the ground. Do I have a symbol? I don't think I do. That one is unconscious and on the ground in a heap. At this point, because these go simultaneously, yes, you are the only one closest that can see it. You notice that the manifestation in this corner is kind of flickering with kind of after images almost of lightning across its surface. And you see it start to move towards the group. 5, 10.
It's possible for him to get in the way.
To be fair, it doesn't have very much movement, so it can only get to there anyway with its movement. And you kind of see it kind of is moving towards the group with intent. However, all it is doing at the moment is... Hang on, I can't hear you. Quiet.
Does it seem like it's heading to, like, in specific?
It's heading in the direction of the group. It looks... Whereas before they were just kind of bobbing around and kind of disinterested in proceedings, it looks distinctly interested in proceedings right now. And it is your turn, Bias.
15. I think Vias would get between the manifestation and Talia and put his arms out and say, "On! Get out of here! We need to go now!" Like, he's just going to urge everybody to run. Like,
make a persuasion check with advantage.
Let's hope this is good. Okay. That's good.
It kind of pauses. And kind of you get a feeling of uncertainty from it. But you don't necessarily feel like it has stopped entirely. You just managed to make it pause in its actions for a moment.
Vice is just going to hold his staff as like a protective measure. Like if it's to get anywhere closer to Talia, he is ready. So he'll hold his action for that.
Okie doke. Vera, it is your turn next.
There's something I want to do, but I'm not sure if I should.
Do it.
Do it.
Okay.
This is a day of bad decisions.
Yeah.
Just get it over with.
So Vera's going to move about 15 feet closer to Susanna and just say, Susanna, it's okay. You're gonna be okay. And she's gonna cast Calm Emotions on Susanna.
Blah.
Ooh.
Come on, Beer Mom.
So you can either choose to fail it, or if you want to make a charisma saving throw,
Against your DC.
Against DC of 14. So it's not a difficult one, but
she's not gonna resist a common presence, so we can say that she fails it.
okay. So, in technical terms, if you're charmed or frightened, that ends, or that's suppressed. I don't know if this counts as being frightened, but it...
Yeah.
Certainly looks like it.
She's pretty frightened.
All right. And that's my turn.
Okie doke. Dylan, you are up next.
Okay.
Oh, wait, that's it's technically a 20-foot radius sphere, but could I just say I wanted to put, Susanna on the very edge of it and, put it here or something? Or would that hit the other folks?
You have a risk of that hitting the other folks.
Okay,
but at the same time,
it's a 60-foot range. So
let me just throw up a... Hang on. So it's a 20-foot radius.
Yes.
So if Susanna's on the edge of it, so that's a 40-foot diameter. On the edge of it, yeah, you would definitely get that group.
Could I move it over to here instead?
Yeah.
Or what you can do is you can plunk it on the wall and
and say if you pop it over.
That'll just hit friendlies, but it's not something.
I mean, as long as Diona's okay with it.
Yeah, Diona doesn't. She doesn't have anything going on that is actually fear related or charm related at the moment, so she's not going to fight it. Because right now her prerogative is protecting Susanna and getting Susanna coherent enough that Diona can ask for consent to pick her up and get her the fuck out of Dodge. So, if this achieves that, cool.
Wherever it'll just hit friendlies who are okay with it then.
I would say if you pop it somewhere over here.
Okay.
It's not going to hit kind of anything over in kind of in this direction. And it will miss Dylan. Cool. So it hits Susanna and Diona. If that is the end of your turn, Talia, it is your turn next.
Okay.
From where you are standing, you can see the one on the floor that Lena's just knocked unconscious. You can see kind of stood protectively in front of you, but you can't actually see what he's protecting you from.
Okay. Talia kind of doesn't know what to do now.
There stood in front of them, in front of the abjuration.
Yeah. I think Talia has kind of read the writing on the wall at this point and is going to go ahead and sort of move. Okay, hold on. How far can I get in one turn? Move forward. Yeah, they're gonna move into the hallway. Make sure nothing is coming that way, because it seems like we're gonna be getting the fuck out.
Okie doke.
So Technically, I am going to be passing through. It's 5-foot melee range because I don't know where it is. So there's no reason.
So as you move past this kind of whatever Vias is trying to protect you from, you feel kind of almost as if you kind of, your arm brushes past something on the way past, and you feel like a tingling, staticky feeling of your arm. And it is going to take an attack of opportunity. It is a 21.
That hits.
See if I've got the macro set up right for this one. You take 9 points of lightning damage.
I'll take it.
You feel the damage hit. Vias, you see kind of a little tendril of electricity shoot out of the manifestation in front of you. Nobody else can actually see at this point, because I think, Dylan, are you still facing towards Susanna? So you've kind of got your back to where where Vias is.
Yeah.
Vias has held action.
That's up to Vias. I would say yes.
Yeah, I think he. Yeah. For it going after, that's his quarterstaff damage plus what? Because he
and it counts as magical.
Because he has
8, and then it uses wisdom for everything, and it counts as magical.
Okay. Oh, 1, 2. Would be better off if. Is it really 1d8? No, it is. Yeah, you're.
Yeah, it becomes a d8.
And then that's a plus wisdom, right?
Yeah, plus wisdom for the attack roll and the damage, and it counts as magical.
Okay. Sorry, I'll roll 1, 20.
It's been a while since I've played someone who had shillelagh.
Because it's a plus 3.
And we now have 2 people who have beat sticks.
So for his attack bonus, he had charisma to that, or not charisma, wisdom too.
Yeah, wisdom plus proficiency.
It's your magical, your spell attack bonus.
It's your druidic spell attack bonus.
Oh, good lord.
Yes, fair point.
I'm just gonna say it's plus 3. I can't fucking. Oh my god, and it's a natural 20.
That definitely hurts.
Oh my god. He was ready for. So it's 2d8 plus 2?
Yes.
Okay. Is it plus 2? Yeah, I think it is.
Plus your wisdom modifier.
Yeah. So it's 7 points damage.
So at this point, anyone who is looking in that direction, which might just be Diona and Lena.
Talia? I figured Talia's looking there too, because I just got hit by lightning damage.
Where did Talia even disappear to?
No, I mean, Talia is just sort of moving. I'm gonna take my full dash action to try to get, like, here.
No, where's Talia's token?
Oh, no, Talia's right there. I don't know.
See the token.
I don't see
I
the
don't.
token.
I don't.
I see
God.
it.
It's
I see their
under
token.
Bias.
Okay.
No? Okay.
It wasn't.
There we go.
For me.
It
Now
disappeared for
Talia's
me.
one's there.
Weird. So in that case, Lena, Talia, Vias, and Diona, as kind of you see if Vias kind of bring his quarterstaff down, apparently thin air, and it kind of slows almost as if it's passing through something, and all of a sudden with a flicker you see this kind of blue flickering lightning-based orb just kind of appear in front of Vias. And it is now visible to everyone in the group.
I think at him hitting it, not them.
I think Talia's gonna change course, because they're gonna fucking stop when they got hit.
Okay, well, you have still moved past it, because that's what triggered the reaction attack.
Okay, so...
But we can say that you kind of stopped just past it.
Yeah, we'll call it there. I think Talia's gonna, like, look at, like, Vias. like, what should I do?
Get out of here.
They're gonna kind of.
We can regroup later.
Oh God. Oh fuck. Oh.
I mean, we can like do a roll up.
No, I'm gonna flip a coin for them, if that's all right.
Okay. Yeah.
Just to.
What are you gonna do, Tal?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Talia is gonna look at you, nod, and they're gonna take their full dash action so they can get about there-ish. And sort of, as they run, just go, all right, we're all going, right? Sort of shout at everyone, like, let's go. Get right there. If they can see out more danger out into this hallway.
They cannot see anything else out in the hallway.
All right. That's my whole movement. All right.
Okie doke. At which point it is Diona's turn.
So when the calm emotions took hold, is Susanna still saying, get it off, get it off, get it off?
Susanna has, she stopped saying that, but she's still trying to take her glove off.
Susanna, we need to run. Do I have your permission to lift you?
Can I respond to that? Is it fine? I mean, my turn.
Well, since you're the next one, we'll just say that you're kind of responding simultaneously. Or your turns are kind of going simultaneously.
Right, sure, that's fine.
I try and help her take the glove off before I lift her?
That one's up to Susanna.
Yeah, I mean, Susanna, anything that will get the glove off her hand is good. So she would not stop Diona from taking it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's shaking a little bit, and it's not easy, but it's not exactly hard to take.
Yeah. And then as soon as the glove's off, Diona's going to bend down and she's basically going to pick Susanna up in the easiest way right the fuck now, which is probably bridle.
Yeah.
I mean, she'd adjust to firemen's if given the chance, but we're going to need to fucking run, so...
Let's not do that, though. Let's keep it bridle.
I mean,
so just full body scoop up.
Yep. I mean, your movement is probably going to be halved carrying, but if you're taking dash as well as an action...
yeah, I'm going to be... I assume it would have been an action to pick her up?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, cool, that's fine.
She's willing, so, I mean, you could call it a bonus action.
Either way, I can do a dash, it just depends on whether or not I'm going to have to use a Moxie. That literally is the only thing it affects.
I'm feeling nice, so we'll say that picking her up was a bonus action because she was willing to be picked up.
Yeah. So the glove is off. Diona does kind of shove it into her belt right now, just picks Susanna up, looks at Dylan, grab the guns, we'll talk about this later. And just starts to book it. Just carries Susanna and just starts to book it. So I can get effectively 30 feet.
Yep.
So yeah. Can't get very far, but get to about there.
Yep. No worries. In that case, then, Susanna, that will be your turn.
Yep. She's just, her hands are clutched into her chest. Like, as soon as the glove's off, she's clutching that hand close to her chest, and that's it.
And
now, I want to ask what Diona sees, but Diona's not currently looking at that right now.
And she wouldn't see. Susanna's hiding it. She's hiding it.
Yeah.
And it's Lena's turn.
Yeah, Diona did say for Dylan to grab the guns, and we'll talk about this later. So.
Lena is moving forward. into melee range with the orb. And she is going to... Hang on a second. I don't have that prepped. Okay, she is going to smack it with... and basically, she's just going to shout, "Go! I'm covering your retreat." Smack it with the warmer. 16 hits. Which is 5. And Vias, you're close enough to see this. Whereas your attack with the staff, as it was imbued with shillelagh, kind of sailed straight through with no problem, you notice that, and it kind of slowed down as if you were doing damage. You notice that Lena's weapon kind of passes through slightly quicker than you would expect, given the resistance that you saw. You're still going to whack it again a second time. And misses second time. So she's just going to whack it twice, and she's going to kind of glance quickly over her shoulder towards Dylan and just shout, "Get them out of here." And that is Lena's turn. The orb is going to... God, I have so many windows open. It's going to attack.
Did say not them. Hold on, Sally.
And technically you did more damage to it than did.
Vias, for fuck's sake.
Oh.
He's not going to let you guys get hurt. That's just not what's going to happen. Not an option for him.
It's going to... Okay, it's going to make an attack first on you, Vias.
Okay.
Which is an 8, which I believe misses. And you're kind of prepared this time. You kind of think you've sussed when it's going to attack, because you can kind of see there's a shift in the surface of it. And you're maybe a little bit better than spotting it, because you and Dylan are the ones able to see these. People can't. However, then it's going to move this way. Why won't that work? Oh, because roll 20 is frozen again. That's nice. There we go. It's going to move. You get an attack of opportunity, Vias, as it moves.
Yeah, I think he'd want to hit again.
We'll do that first.
Amy, I'll need you to move Susanna, but yeah, Diana's moved to about here, and again is carrying Susanna.
Yep, no worries. My roll 20 is incredibly slow. It's probably because I've got all these other windows open. Can I close?
Good. An 11.
An 11 misses, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Should it be a +3? Because don't you say you have +2 to...
it should be a +5.
Maybe I'll roll
should
that
be
again.
So that should be 13.
Okay.
13 just misses.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait,
hold on. Would he have... Never mind. No,
because he's not flanked.
No, we're good. Okay.
So it moves kind of over to where the rest of the group were. And as it passes through, Lena needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh.
God damn it, Lena.
Troll.
It's not a natural one, though, yeah.
It's still a 2 and a dex save.
Not that it matters.
So as it does, you kind of see lightning kind of arc across Lena's arm, kind of flinches. And there's kind of a scent of burning hair, slightly, and she kind of, you hear her kind of go under her breath, shit. And that is the end of its turn.
Okay. So
Vias, it is your turn next.
What is he gonna do? He is going to gonna use guiding bolt on that thing.
Go for it.
I don't know if I have a macro roll for that, but 16?
16 hits.
Yes, and he does it at he was gonna do it. Sorry.
At level what, sorry?
Do it for his warlock.
Yep.
Oh yeah, because right. Sorry, I forgot the way you had your spell slots done.
Yeah. I have it set differently. Hold on. My trackpad's being stupid, I'm sorry. So it's let's see. 40, so it's 5d. Plus any. Okay. Shit.
Wow. Is that a dexterity save, or does that just hit?
No, that's the attack roll.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 16. Yeah. That's, so... How would you like to do this, Vias?
Oh my god.
Bolt up the butt.
Yeah.
Guiding bolt is like Vias's...
It's like
special
his spell. Yeah.
It had 2 hit points left.
Oh my god.
I mean, we knew Vias was extra because every time he has hit with guiding bolt, it's been overkill.
It's been like 40 points of fucking damage.
That is true.
You've not just killed it, you've utterly destroyed it.
Oh my god. I think... Oh god, hold on. I have, oh boy. I think he would have lifted the staff. And, like, it imbued with the whole, like, shillelagh mixed with his whole guiding bolt thing. I think he would just say, not them again, and just unleash that and just annihilate. Just, he wants to burn it inside out because it hurt his people.
I mean, the flash of light is so bright that the 4 people that are still, the 4 members of the group that are still up there kind of literally have to blink for several seconds to kind of get the after image out of their eyes. And when you finally do, there is nothing left. There's not even, scraps. It's as if it was never there at all. It has been utterly destroyed.
And I think the people nearest to him see that he's got, like, a tear in his eye. He did not want to do that.
Lena's just going to kind of look around a little bit. Right. Well, that was... I have no words. And she kind of glances over to you, Vias. She's like, yeah, good job.
Feel good about that?
You saved the group, Vias. That's something to feel good about.
And I think he wouldn't even really process that. He'd probably want to go over to that, like, over here, that person.
The unconscious one?
The one near, yeah. And he'd want to check on the one that's down and, like, bled out, basically, and, like, check if they're dead or not. Like.
Okay, well, this one here is very dead.
Oof.
This one here is just unconscious because Lena was aiming a punch. At this point, having kind of seen 3 of the group head out, Lena's going to be like, right, I think we ought to follow the others. We ought to stay together. There's nobody with them who can actually see these things, which is nice. Yeah.
I think you would notice his fingers and put it in like the pool of blood, basically. You watch him turn the face person, and he takes his middle finger and his thumb and his ring finger, and he basically runs them down the center of the face with the middle finger, and under the eyes he brings those two together, like red marks on this person's face, and mutters something in Celeste. If anybody can understand Celestial.
Lena, I think.
Lena can understand Celestial.
Lena, you hear him say, "May your soul," basically. And then he turns to the person that's down there and checks on them, as that's his goal right now.
They're breathing. There's the start of a fairly spectacular bruise forming on the side of their face. They're just unconscious.
And then I think he would try and pick them up and take them out as well.
Okie doke. What is your strength modifier?
0. But they are a dwarf.
I mean, they're a dwarf in chainmail armor. I mean, you can roll a strength check if you would like, or you could wave Lena over to help. Or Vera, even.
Time to do it, I don't have.
Oh, roll me a strength check then.
Fire!
Yeah. I mean, you stand there and you kind of grab an arm, and you've seen kind of people do this where, it's like, right, it's not that hard surely to get somebody over my shoulders, and the arm goes over the head, and you kind of pull on the arm a few times, and conscious people weigh a lot more than you think. At this point, doesn't want to go over Lena.
He kind of like looks at Lena. Can you help me?
Yeah, of course I can. I'm now going to have to make Lena make a strength check, which might be embarrassing. Advantage because there are 2 of us.
Oh.
Team is not great. I have a fucking +2.
Okay, well,
if Vera's coming up next, so...
Well,
is a 13 enough to lift them? Because if it's not, then Vice wild shape. Because he can be a fucking bear.
I had a DC 12 in my head, so
okay.
it's just enough.
Just enough.
It's kind of a bit of an effort, and you kind of have to step in, kind of as Lena's kind of got them in front of the shoulder, and they slide. So you just there, kind of pushing them up further onto Lena's shoulders. Dylan, Vera, what are you 2 up to? These 2 idiots are trying to lift a person up.
Is the other person near Vera still alive?
No, they are very dead.
This person right here?
Yeah,
they're dead.
Lena was not impressed at what happened to Susanna.
Okay, then Vera's just gonna follow after the group, but sort of like keep an eye out very specifically for anything else, even though she can't see the weird orby things. Just looking for any, I don't know, like static discharge or anything.
Make me a perception check, just in case.
Good gracious.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, you're kind of you're taking the time to kind of bring up the rear and glance around everywhere. For the moment, you don't spot anything, but I will bear that roll in mind.
All right. And yeah, she's gonna kind of wait back for everyone else to leave.
I have something I need to do before a minute passes.
Okie doke, go for it.
This guy right here that I just emphasized, Dylan kneels down and takes out his book, and he's gonna do this. Please put in the chat. He's gonna do that.
Oh, that is creepy but cool.
And he is going to ask, would anything have made you not attack?
Say that again, sorry, it crackled out on my connection.
Would anything have made you not attack?
After a minute,
and during that minute, is everyone leaving? Because he's not leaving until he gets an answer.
I mean, I'm going to say that you're doing that while Lena and Vias are busy trying to lift unconscious people.
And Vera's bringing up the rear, so she's going to wait for everyone else to leave the room.
Talia's getting up to some shenanigans, but we
Yep.
Anna's getting out and carrying Susanna because Susanna's in no fit state to
exist.
After a minute, Dylan, you see a series of symbols appear in the book. What languages do you speak? You don't. No, it was Vias who was around there before. What languages do you speak? Does Dylan speak?
Dylan speaks Common, Elvish, and Deep Speech.
You do not recognize the symbols.
It translates into a language of your choice.
Yeah.
So, of his choice.
Does it? So, flickers. And I can't find my notes because my app has crashed. Can I give you kind of that one via DM, via private message, so that you
Oh yeah, you can give me that private message, or you can do the Whispers channel. That's always an option.
I would do, except my notes have crashed. So
okay. So yeah, go ahead.
I will send that to you when I can access my notes, which might be tomorrow. But I am writing a note on my desk. There's basically a name that I need to pull out that's in my notes.
Yeah.
But I will do that, DM to that. Yeah, so it comes up in a series of symbols, and then you see it kind of shift into whichever of the languages that you speak that you would want
Common
it to translate.
Common would be best for Dylan. Because Deep Speech doesn't have a written language, and also he doesn't know that he knows that yet.
Ooh.
What?
Pardon?
Ooh. What?
No, you're not getting explanations for that. No.
I love that.
Explanations.
Let's all
like
focus
that
on that
more.
instead of anything else.
I'm writing that down in my just so you know.
Literally, Deep Speech is not important until until like any of y'all use it. And you get to freak Dylan out if you get to be a
use it.
What?
Oh.
Fucking
Okay, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Let's move on from the Deep Speech.
All right, so at this point, everyone is kind of... I assume everyone is following the rest of the group out of the temple.
Dylan's not.
Would
Dylan's
I
not leaving.
remember well enough where these orbs were to try and avoid them?
Potentially yes, but they were bobbing, backwards and forwards before you approached them before.
Yeah, but see, here's the problem, alright? Talia doesn't know where the fucking orbs are.
Yeah.
Oof. So is Talia going to just charge straight through, or is Talia...
Talia, basically... And they're like, okay, it seems empty. They're going to start to sort of more walk through. Hand axes on both sides, just straight down the middle. Like, trying to clear it ahead. Yeah.
Make me, first of all, a perception check.
Also, fun fact, they're terrified.
Understandable.
Hey, I am too.
I think there's going to be a fair few breakdowns later.
Normal, advantage, or disadvantage?
Normal.
Normal? Okay. 14.
Okie doke. I'm trying to think how to do this, short of... Because I need some sort of... How lucky is Talia going to be here? Because you don't have a torch with you.
I don't, but I do have dark vision.
Yeah, but it was the torch that was reflecting off them. And I'm spitballing here. I need somebody... I didn't prepare for this, so... what I basically want to do is kind of see... I think probably dexterity saves to see if you manage to them as you're walking through. Is probably the way to do it.
Well, the point is for Talia to find out if there's any more of this invisible shit here.
I mean, if she's actively trying to look for them,
they are absolutely actively trying to look for it. No,
right. That case, then.
Yeah, they're trying to actively look for them because they know there's some invisible shit going on. They don't like that. But they want to be able to mark it out ahead of everybody else. If that makes sense. They're like scout mission
I would say that at this point, Talia is kind of walking backwards and forwards in like a grid pattern.
Yeah, that's kind
just kind of zigzagging backwards and forwards. Swiping at. So I would say if they are going there. Oh, come on.
Like they just start at this upper corner and kind of.
You're kind of going across, and then across, and across. How much movement do they have in one?
In one turn, if they use their full movement, they have 90 feet.
Oh, right, okay, so there's no hope of the rest of the group. So 25, 50. So they would definitely get kind of, if you're starting from there, you would get 25, 50, 75, 90. You would get to there.
To here?
To there. Assuming that you were zigzagging backwards and forward.
Yeah, more.
At which point, make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh my god.
Putting them directly in the damage line, but it's what they would do. I'm sorry. 15.
As you kind of move, you kind of feel that tingling sensation of skin that you felt before when the one before shocked you. And you kind of lean back out of the way. A bolt of lightning comes out from this direction in front of you. And I would say at this point, everybody else kind of gets to move their full distance towards Talia.
Me and Lena, we would both have speed though, wouldn't we? Carrying someone.
Yep.
And so would Diona.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Diona's dashing and gonna do a moxie to get to 45 feet. To basically can get to sorry, I just need to do
where more or less Talia just was.
I guess Lena and Vias dash.
Lena and Vias probably can dash, but it'll still only be half speed, so it'll still only be a total of 30 feet.
Yeah.
Yep. Y'all are at half speed, and I am a monk with 45 speed naturally.
You also know that you shouldn't go too far ahead of the group at this point. Because we've got...
made it to about there.
Okay.
Talia's not dumb. They're just trying to scout shit.
Yeah. So, and carrying Susanna as well.
Hold on, I want to see how... Because otherwise Mercy want to go ahead. I don't think she'd make it. Okay, that's fine.
So, Dylan and Vera, if you want to kind of keep bringing up the rear, you're going to have to kind of sit behind.
Dylan's going to try and lag behind Vera.
You and Vias.
I think
Vias will know that, but she's going to just keep an eye on him.
Vera, just go ahead. I'll be along in a second.
The minute or so that you needed for the invocation would probably have been roughly the same amount of time that Lena spent with Vice's help, picking up that person. So you probably would have just about finished as they're kind of heading to the door. Meanwhile,
she's still waiting.
Veda, go ahead.
Okay, so she just nods and goes with the rest.
Okay, Talia, what are you doing?
Talia is going to try and see if they can't hit this thing.
Okie doke.
Magical fizz.
I do have magical fist. No, I do have it. No, wait, no, I can't punch ghosts yet. Fuck. Next level.
No, that's level 6. Because we both get it at the same time.
I try to hit it with hand axes.
Doke. Make me an attack. With disadvantage because you can't see it.
Yeah. Shit. Fuck me.
Yeah, you swipe, and again you feel that kind of staticky feeling against your skin. A dexterity saving throw, please. Wow. In that case,
Monk bullshit.
you take 4 points of lightning damage.
Wait, what?
You saved. That's a save on the throw.
Okay.
And basically, you feel kind of static all around your arm, as the hand axe kind of passes through something. There's a tiny little hint of resistance, and all their hair kind of on their arm stands on end.
Okay.
Lightning kind of shoots through them.
All right.
At which point, roll for initiative, Talia. At which point also it's 20 past 1 here, so I was trying to get us all out of the temp we did this, but I'm probably going to have to call a night.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Talia, no.
Did I roll? And the other thing rolled a 19.
I mentioned that I was basically going to be trying to do, just going to try and move through, and basically again is going to be trying to use herself to take the damage so Susanna doesn't.
Also, can I quick say Vinali is like trotting after Susanna?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Diana would have actually, when she picked Susanna up, kind of indicated for Vinali to jump up.
Okay.
Don't apologize for the cat hair on Susanna later. Right now, I feel like Susanna could use the cat laying on her and purring.
Susanna did not care about the cat hair. She could not care less. She has so many better things to care about right now.
No, but she'll care later.
Will she? Will she care about anything?
Okay, what were you gonna say, Amy?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to head off.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's so understandable.
We'll end it at this moment.
Also, I need to freaking eat.
Wait, really? Can I? Is Vayra leaving?
What was that?
Is Vayra leaving and heading out of the?
Yeah.
Can I just say retroactively that Dylan picked up Susanna's guns and handed them to Vayra and told her to take them out because he would have done that.
Diana. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
So Vayra has Susanna's guns and Dylan's staying behind in the temple.
Okay.
Let's end on this moment where Talia rolls a nat 1 initiative against a thing they cannot see that rolled a nat 20.
Isn't this fun?
Miss,
I told you guys not to get close to things.
There were so many.
We were in agreement about not getting close to things.
There were so
Dylan's an idiot.
Dylan.
There were so many fuck ups.
Dylan.
It's like I said, there are plenty of ways to survive this. I just might have underestimated how much of a dumbass certain members of this group want to be.
Look,
Dylan wasn't being.
Talia
We did
is trying to be
survive
a good
this.
We
scout.
figured they would be nice, but we were
survived
told they
yet.
attack
Sarah,
anyway.
we're not outside the temple.
We were
Talia
told that
remembered.
those people that stand still attack people, so Vice is like, don't get close.
Talia
Yeah,
remembered. Talia remembered that there was shit in that hallway that they couldn't see, so they were going to be a good little scout and help the group. But fuck!
Look,
Talia.
Susanna was worried about Dylan, so she shot the thing attacking him.
Dylan
And
was trying
this-
to be nice because being nice to the orbs worked, and they
And-
didn't attack us when he was nice to the orbs. So he was like, if I'm nice to the people, maybe they will be fine. He was just waving like a hello wave, like at the person, and it just lunged for him. And he was like, oh, okay, I guess this is what's happening. And then Susanna shot it, and he was mad.
I mean, we'd been warned they did that.
We had been warned they did that.
But it didn't hurt him, so he was like, oh, I guess this is just his way of saying hello. I can probably de-escalate it from here. But no, Susanna shot it, and he was mad.
Yep.
Well, one survived. Vice prepared funeral rites.
Also,
It's
Dylan,
fine.
by the way, guys, Dylan is so pissed that you killed 2 of them. I don't know what he's gonna do next session. He's so mad.
Vice did non-lethal, and he was upset, so...
I think Dylan doesn't get to be upset.
Yeah, there's gonna be some fireworks, and it's gonna be interesting. And I'm already feeling bad for Diana, because Diana's gonna have to run damage control twice. First on Susanna, to try and get Susanna more functional, and then on Talia.
No, Talia's pretty okay, actually.
Oh my god.
Talia, can we have one fight where nobody has a fucking panic attack?
No.
No!
We can't. I thought it was going to be fine. I thought Dylan was going to get shot. We were all going to laugh, and it was going to be fine.
Dylan is actually fully prepared to go up to Susanna after this and just be like, shoot me.
Oh my god. I was like, we were walk right through here. No, we had to fucking stop at the fucking doorway.
Yeah, again, you'll notice with the way Diana was moving when she was checking the further out.
Yeah.
She hit with arms ready, and she avoided the thing the light glinted off of. She was just like, I have. Let's not provoke unnecessary fights.
It could have gone well, and instead it just went so poorly.
It could have gone worse.
Walked in and
That's
got
kind
hit.
of just our brand, though. It could have gone well, but it didn't.
Fantastic failures. Literally.
Fantastic failures and where to find them.
Yes.
I'm heading off, everyone. I will get that note through and check various things.
Good night, Amy.
I'm stopping the recording.